It is the first time this team has stepped on a main stage since 2021 with a wizard on his actual birthday. Can they make some major magic? It's NIP! And their opponents, as NIP make their way to their stations, happen to be NA's last hope. In fact, the way things have panned out, the rest of the world's last hope. Can they take this trophy transatlantic? It's Soniqs! All right, guys, please take a seat. Gunnar, you can stay here. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, good, good. We've got Chubbs coming up as well. This should be a banger. I know that I'm excited. I can see in your eyes that both of you two are as well. Gunnar, let's start with you. I mentioned it coming in. You are, of course, NA's only hope in this major. Turns out Brazil are on a bit of a hot streak at the moment. Are you feeling a little bit apprehensive here or confident as ever?
We're feeling great. We're ready to win.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like some of the fans are ready for that as well. Chubbs, listen, you've been to the top when it comes to coaching teams to win majors. You know what it takes. Do your team here, sitting on this stage right now, have that ability?
Yeah, 100%. Like, we're ready. Just that.
Do you think they are ready?
We'll see.
Oh, you see, I like this, I like this. Listen, what is it about this team that you've seen grow and develop? Because they've been, in glorious moments in the past, NIP. And you could argue that they've had a bit of a fall from grace, but now they're in a position to potentially bounce back and put themselves back on the map. What have you seen change over the past few months?
Well, I see Pino, Psycho, and Musi getting back to their prime, getting like hungrier and hungrier for titles and the results, of course. So all the pieces are together. They'll give their best and put NIP when it belongs.
Gunnar, is it fair to say that throughout this major, and I imagine you are hoping to continue to do this, are you proving some doubters wrong out there? And if you are, what do you want to say to them?
I got nothing to say. I'm just letting my game do the talking.
Okay, are you ready to get this in?
Yeah.
All right, Gunnar, you go take. Do you want to say happy birthday as a wizard, by the way?
Happy birthday, bro.
All right, congrats, man. Go take a seat. I say congrats. I'll maybe say congrats at the end of this. Chubbs, I'll go let you get on with your team and get fired up for this final quarter-final here. And Milos, as you can see, the time for talk is over. That isn't the case for the desk. You've still got some flapping of those gums to do, all right?
Yeah, Ian, I think we're paid to do it. So we've been doing it here since early in the morning. We're gonna keep it up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blastar 6 Major live in Copenhagen. It's late at night, but we are young at heart, and the night is young also as we get started with our final best of 3 for this evening. It's another Brazilian team that comes up, NIP this time, that we've seen dormant for what seems like forever until this event. I can't believe I'm being forced to cheer for North America. Hello, welcome. I'm Milos, with me are Jesse and Alfama. Jesse, what the hell is going on?
Well, as we heard from Ian, it's Brazil versus everyone, and Brazil is winning very dominantly right now. It's North America, the last hope for the rest of the world. Not just the last hope for NA are the Soniqs anymore.
Yeah, and I think really this time, they might be the favorite of this matchup. For once, not a Brazilian team being the favorite. I think coming into this matchup, Soniqs is much more mature. It's their breakthrough year, finally. I think they've got the final iteration they were looking for. Do you agree with me? Do you think they're the favorite right now?
I think everybody's huffing on copium right now, if you ask me. Given how things have been going over the past 3 games, I think we have something else. And you know what? How about we introduce our 2 squads in our video?
feels great playing in front of a crowd. You can just feel that, your desk shaking, or when you have the headset on, you hear him screaming and chanting for you. We don't play the round the same every time, whether it be our attacks or our defenses.
É sentimento muito bom de estar na fase 3, né? De ter o trabalho todo recompensado. Acho que as qualidades do nosso time são a agressividade, o nosso entrosamento.
We play very fast and very aggressive. I'm not scared to face Soniqs.
Facing NIP, I think they're a great team, but I think we're obviously a different team now, and I think the energy that we're going to bring in the server is going to have us on top for sure.
E eu acho que com esse esforço a gente vai ter o que a gente merece. Tá focado aí para vencer.
They might underestimate us and we'll be able to beat them pretty quick.
Psycho, Pino, Muzi, I think they're scared about this.
I hope they don't underestimate us, and if they do, then they're going to pay the price.
Soniqs versus NIP. Soniqs, the last hope of North America, like we were saying before, the NIP to be the fourth and final Brazilian team to join us in an all-Brazilian so far semi-final. How about we talk about our teams then in detail? Soniqs, what sort of path did they follow to get here?
Soniqs followed a very loud path, Milos, because they started off losing throughout most of the NIL. They didn't do great throughout the groups. They made it to playoffs, but they didn't do well in the playoffs. Lost every game, came in through the last chance qualifier, and completely rejuvenated themselves. And what was up, helping them up throughout those qualifier games? It was Gunnar, screaming his hearts out. And throughout this tournament as well, Gunnar's yelling out loud after every single clutch, every single round, to the point where he's doing the interview and he's lost most of his voice. Is that going to be a nerf to Soniqs? Perhaps, but I do think that this team will still continue to see frags coming through from Gunnar. He's been an amazing entry for the team so far. He and Rexon have just been killing it in that role for the squad.
Yeah, I think he's grown so much since Jönköping, by the way. It was his first major event back then, and it's in only 6 months he became such a pillar of the team. I think in general, the way Soniqs has been built right now, they're on a dream team. You've got two of the best entries of NA in Rexon and in Gunnar. You've got two of the best lurkers in the game in Citizen and Grixer, and then you've got a world champion IGL in Geo.
Where's Citizen been?
Citizen wasn't really having the greatest start, right? SI, he was not the difference maker. A lot of people had Soniqs winning SI or in the finals, top 4 at least. And then they're out to Astralis, first round lower bracket in the playoffs. Then they come into this major, and Citizen has been lights out. Their best player, he has been amazing for SQ. Really big turnaround coming in from the Brit.
Do want to take the moment, though, as you see our profile for Wizard. Yes, there's numbers on there, but I think the most important number is his birthday, because I think it's time for us to sing it. Chat, can you join us with it too? Also, Copenhagen, can you join us in singing happy birthday for Wizard? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wizard. Happy birthday to you. Hey! Phil's birthday, man. But you know what? The biggest birthday present for him would be a big win against Soniqs Alphamar.
Yeah, and he's gonna need to play well to get that one, honestly. Watching Soniqs play at this major, they've been stellar. Their only loss is against W7M, but it was super close, 7-8. And I think coming into this major for NIP, it's been more than 500 days that the core of NIP has actually played at the top 8 on an STR event on Rainbow Six. They went through such a big slump in 2022 that they needed a new era of NIP. And I think they removed Julio, they removed Kamikaze, and again, they brought in new blood, exactly like Liquid. Is it gonna be enough for beating Soniqs? I'm not sure. Soniqs has matured now. I think they're ready.
Feel NIP has regenerated, but in what way coming into today?
The thing is, so they had Pino and Muzi, right? Incredible fraggers. And Psycho as the captain and the really good flex player. And then they had NIP, NIP they had Julio and Kamikaze that were a bit older and played a more passive play style, or at least they were older and didn't bring that fresh vision that they needed, right? More and more teams are fitting the meta right now by being more aggressive and more flexible. And I think Cons is that new type of passive support that's playing in a cool-headed manner that isn't IGLing from the support role, but that is really focused on winning his gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Psycho because he is having one hell of a tournament. This is his 14th S-tier international event. I'm counting Pro League finals, I'm counting SI, and I'm counting majors. 14th for him. He's locking down a 1.43 KDR, his best ever since SI 2018, second best overall. That tournament way back in the day, he had a 1.88. So overall, this has been an amazing tournament for him so far. Of course, the difficult matches are yet to come, so we expect that number to drop, but my God, if he can keep up that stat line, then NIP are in for a very good time here in the Copenhagen finals.
All right, then let's take it to our map ends. We'll see what we can work with and what both of our teams have to work with in this series. First up, NIP will take Chalet. They start on the defense. Bank for Soniqs. They are on the defense. And finally, Clubhouse as our decider, with Soniqs are on the attack. They ban out Skyscraper to take us there. Jesse, is there someone with an advantage in this?
Well, I think if we get back to that last map of Clubhouse, it's a very good map for Soniqs. They like this map a lot. 3-game win streak and 5-1 record since the year started. They love playing on this map. It's not bad for NIP either. I mean, 3 games through stage 1 major alone. Lost to 6K, beat 6K on the rematch, struggled again against VP, first game of playoffs. So that map, if we can get down to the 3rd, feels pretty good for Soniqs.
But what about Chalet then here? Because this is NIP's pick. They're starting on defense. It's, of course, a side that's a bit tougher to play on Chalet. Is it something that could be exploited by Soniqs?
Yeah, probably. I think the hard thing with Chalet playing against NIP is that NIP is perfectly playable of playing something like the VP playstyle, super slow, methodical, and then winning in the last 20 seconds of the round. And then on the other side, they've brought some incredible rush strategies where they all go for an explosive attack together, and Chalet offers that through the windows. The site is super close to the outside, so you could literally do the same thing here.
I'm sorry. Bring that up again.
Come on.
You see what it says on it? It says, "Where is Bolo?" Bolo's right here in the heart. You know it. You know it. You know it's not something you can ever forget.
Of course.
You've seen it a lot more than I have, but still always in the heart. And you know he's got to be watching. He's a former world champion himself, sitting down, watching here the new guard, basically, of the region. Would Soniqs be that team to take the mantle up for NA?
I mean, you'd hope so at this point. They were the only team not to make a roster move after the 6th Invitational in North America of the 8 teams that we have in the league. So it's not a huge surprise that they are the ones representing NA in the top 8 here in Copenhagen. Obviously, they have that experience. They have been growing together. And I think the big thing that has pushed them forward has been their defenses. They've always been one of the best defensive teams in the world, 68% through the tournament thus far. An incredible, aggressive playstyle where they like to play. Gunner, of course, getting active. He works so well with Rexon. He works so well with Grixer. And then Citizen, so consistent. Playing on that defensive half, always finding a pick here or there, not always with the rest of the team, but also not dying, not going down when he's in crucial moments. He's been incredibly impactful and incredibly consistent for the Soniqs. So everything's kind of just coming together.
So what does Gio kind of work in this for Soniqs?
I think he's the voice of bringing everyone together. I think the thing with Citizen, again, looking at what he was doing in G2, is the problem was they couldn't play all together at the same time, and they weren't really good as a team together, having so many star players. And I think that Gio was really the guy that has already won a world championship, that has charisma, that is a little bit older, that has experience, and that can bring everyone together under one vision.
All right, who takes map 1? Lobby's ready.
Well, I'm saying we're getting all 12 tonight, Milos. So map 1's NIP's pick. Let's pick him.
All right.
I actually believe SQ is going to take this 2-0.
He is more of an NA shield than you are. Remember, he played in NA.
And I played with Grixer and Rexon.
Exactly, so that's an extra layer that we have to watch out for here on the desk, though. Alphama, thank you very much. And thank you very much, Jesse. Our lobby is ready. Map number 1 of our final matchup is about to begin. NA's last hope! Or will we have another Brazilian team to join the other 3 in the semifinals? Our casters are ready. It's Santero and Pengu, who should probably lift another hammer.
Thank you so much, Milos, and thank you so much to the desk. As he said, another Brazilian team making to the semifinals. Why? Because every single Brazilian team has won their match today. If NIP pulls it off, we will have the final 4 teams all being from the same region, Nicholas. Now, for Soniqs, they've got the whole world's weight on their shoulders. The desk seems split on whether they'll be able to pull it off. If I was to put you on the hot spot.
I mean...
Hot seat.
Hot seat.
Hot seat, whichever
Honestly,
you'd like.
Looking at the maps we're playing, like the Chalet, the Bank, the Clubhouse, and how SQ have been looking at this tournament, I honestly favor them a little bit here because they've been ramping up. They had a relatively slow start, things a little bit messy at times, but then the longer they've been here, the better they have been performing. And Jesse kind of spoke about it. NIP played more maps than Soniqs, so you gotta talk about how many strats they've shown and whatnot, and how much has been shown from them all these games in their operator pool as well. The fans have voted, and it's very close, 48 to 52%, so it is a bit of a toss-up now. We know Soniqs and they can play a phenomenal Chalet, so it's very bold for them to start things off here, and because they chose the map, they get the less favorable side starting on defense.
All right. Operator bans will now roll in. What do you think here for these bans, Nick?
I mean, we've seen a lot of target bans today, which I would like a lot. I will say, however, that I would love to see the Asami being banned out. Maybe a Flores here, Soniqs, they're keen on it. I'm not surprised whatsoever that NIP, they're going for that target ban onto Gunner, actually, who is the quote-unquote flex player of Soniqs, playing the aggressively on the entry, for example. That said it, Flores, that's almost guaranteed going to prompt an Asami ban now in response either from Soniqs themselves or from NIP. It is so hard to play against Asami if the Flores banned away, because you use those for terror drones to deal with the keeper barriers. It's the only amount of soft destruction we have for destruction or explosives on a single operator, and there it is. So Soniqs, they handshake themselves saying, we remove the problem and remove the thing that could deal with that problem.
All right, and a Valkyrie is the very last ban coming in. Lots of intel that will be provided by this operator. It's surprising that we see a Valkyrie ban here, but she'll be removed nonetheless. Nip love that operator. They love her dearly. Good times. Psycho on Valkyrie. Say his name 1,000 times.
1,000?
Psycho, psycho, psycho.
Psycho, 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 psycho.
That's a deep cut for those of you that haven't really watched before.
It's actually very surprising that NP they opt to ban out the Valkyrie. I mean, that's target banning yourself, essentially. But I will say, one thing that the Brazilian teams in general are very good at is playing a network on the defensive side that doesn't really have many gaps in it. When you have that solid foundation with player positions and, let's say, barbed wire, etc., you don't necessarily need to play the Valkyrie for information. And it's where teams more commonly in Europe and in North America and even in APAC, they rely on intel over that crazy network. We saw W7M last year when they really rose to the top. They kind of changed how teams they approach Chalet as a map in general, and it's no surprise to see the entirety of Brazil just kind of copy pasta that, because if it works so well and you play against it every single day in practice, you know how it works both on the attacking and defensive side of things. So NIP in a great spot for this Valkyrie ban, I think.
That's going to be a Bar Games defense to start things off. Why not? This library hold is going to be hugely important for Ninjas in Pyjamas. There's a Capital on the board, so Soniqs will bring the correct operator to deal with the Wamai in the corner. Only thing is you have to burn through those magnets first. Bad news is that the more that you do that, the longer it takes you, the more that you're going to see magnets be tossed out. Gunner be the one to tackle Wizard. It's his birthday. You want to do that to him, really?
I mean, there are two different kinds of presents you can give Wizard if you're Soniqs. Either a ticket to the semifinals or a ticket home to Brazil, right? So right now it's up to them to figure out what that's gonna be. One fire goes out, great combination with the MPs, with the fire, but Wizard is smart. He read into it, he dropped the hatch early in the round, and the thing is, Soniqs, they don't capture him anywhere on the map. So now they burn a bit of utility, they burn a bit of time on the clock, they lost a drone or two, but they get what they wanted. Library corner is now clear. That's step number one. Now they can start applying pressure on the library balcony, threaten the jump in, etc. And we see Grix's silhouette all the way across the map with that global gadget with the phone rings, just droning right now. So there is going to be a late round flank from Soniqs later on this round.
Yeah, it's half the round already burned out. Is still intel work to go. The Brava will hold on through. This was an operator that was selected during the initial prep phase, but then gets hung on to. Rexon's got some intel, and he thought his way forward was clear, but not on those library stairs. We're taking a small point of damage. Interesting that Rexon will go with that Cammers, C-A-M-R-S, the DMR that's in the hands of Bravo, when a lot will be playing with the Para. It's a missed opportunity on the Psycho playing upstairs now on Chimney. 30 seconds of burn through the round. Smoke going out to cut off a line of sight. Rexon wants to test his reflexes, and Psycho gets kill number one.
It's fine. You get the opening. Things are very slow here for side of Soniqs, I have to say. I mean, I'm expecting a quick punch here. Gunnar getting active. He spent his fires early, but no.
Gunnar wants to run in. He'll shrug off a lot of that damage. It's to his doom. Wizard finishing him off. Cons as well onto Citizen. Soniqs barely been able to get into the building yet. Geo holds on to the diffuser as Grixer might be the second to contest that same spot upstairs in Chimney, but Psycho's moved away from it. You don't bother to look in that direction. Geo preventing a flawless first round.
Seconds left.
He's the only one left though, 10 seconds to go. 4 players from Nip.
10 seconds to go.
None of them itching for the kill. They know Geo needs to get into the site or else Soniqs lose.
5 seconds left.
They get the diffuser down at all? No. Sitting outside of the building, Nip taking round number 1 without barely breaking a sweat.
I have to say, that's a very disappointing opening round from the Soniqs. I mean, they're not a poor Chalet team, and they dealt with the initial prop of that Omai in library corner beautifully, but nothing happened after that. I mean, right now, in the current meta of Siege, there's a very simple, dumbed-down way you can explain how to play it. You need to be the one to actively be making and seeking the play, especially on the attacking side. You cannot sit in the balcony outside the building and be like, oh, they're gonna swing us, we'll get 4 kills because they're impatient. No, the desk spoke about it. NIP, sure, they can play up in your face, aggressive, front forward, but they have no issue playing that Virtus Pro playstyle last 20 seconds on the clock. They know that their strength on that bomb side is play the utility. Play upstairs on the deployable shields with your Mightis, your ADSs, etc. And they don't have to act at all until Soniqs, they get past a certain line on the map. Soniqs didn't cross any lines. They were outside the building until they weren't because they were dead at the very first step in the first door that they found. Soniqs need to show up stronger. This is Chalet attack, it's the favorable side, they're comfortable on the map. We need to see some life, some aggression, some decision-making here. It can be hard if you're Geo, the agile of this team, to sometimes in these rounds make those aggressive calls because you're often going to be so far in the back, you can't quite see what's going on in the front. That's where we gotta see more communication from Gunnar, from Rexon, from Grixer to enable these beginnings of those rounds and those mini executes that we see across Chalet.
Well, second opportunity now for Soniqs, as you said. You sounded like a father there. I'm very disappointed.
I was, I am.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed with how they could have played this one. I like how they're changing things up. But immediately net some success for them. That's the real question right now. It seems like almost nobody's been able to slow down these Brazilian teams today. All 3 of the series gone to 3 maps. Yeah. So I think we can expect the same, which would be a very late night here in Copenhagen. But we're used to it.
Yeah. It's been a long week, basically, week and a half. I mean, we've seen both from phase 1, phase 2, and now in phase 3, some games go the distance. The days, of course, being long, full of games. Soniqs and NIP themselves, they also know a thing or two about this, specifically NIP, because they did lose that opening match they had against 6 Karma, and they were forced into that loser bracket on playing best of 3s, so they've played more games than Soniqs. They've played 9 maps so far at this event, where Soniqs, they've only played 6. So quite a difference there in the grand scheme of things.
Nip has battled consistency issues, but it seems like this roster is starting to gel again. Just talked about right before we got into the matchup that from that, I believe it was the promotional video that we saw some of the older guard in Nip getting hungry again.
Yeah.
It's very easy to have that championship hangover where a team wins the big prize, whether it be a major, SI, etc., and then just struggles to keep that motivation up after they've already won it all. It takes a specific type of player to still have that fire rage in your belly the same way. Nice shot by Gunnar to start things off. Answered back by Psycho to eliminate Grixer. 1 minute left on the board. Wizard swings out, and Rexon finishing him off. When Rexon's on his game, he is a terrifying foe to go up against. The same can be said for most of the players in this lobby. Gunnar, another for Soniqs, as down goes Psycho. Leaving Nip with just 2 players left. Cons and Pino. Cons in a position where he gets flashed out now. Nade, no, or Nitro Cell tossed in. Geo looking to follow up on it. Khan still in this spot. Nitro Cell not getting anything. He's a sitting duck. Citizen gives Soniqs the very first round with that final kill.
Yeah, more laugh there from the side of Soniqs as well, looking a lot better. And I think you said it well, Parker, where sometimes it can be hard for the old guard to find that fire once again, but it's why we see the import, if you want to say, or the rejuvenation of like the new young players coming to the pro scene, and then you mix that with some of those older players who might not have that same motivation, and it makes it work. You have experience, you have that veteran in Geo, for example. You have the young, energetic, hype person in Gunnar who's just, super happy to be here and excited, to play a ton of games, a ton of hours, and do all these things, and he's silly and whatnot. And we see that being done, frankly, in every single region by almost every single team at this point, where we are just seeing more and more of those older players being flushed out. Citizen, of course, coming all the way from EU over to NA, didn't have to start Soniqs Wanted at SI, didn't have the greatest stage 1 in the NAL either, and a lot of people kind of have a big question mark next to Soniqs, like, how are they gonna do if they qualify through the LCQ for the major? Well, they ended up qualifying, they did a lot better, and things kind of changed around, their roles, their operators, and also, most importantly, how flexible Soniqs can be as a team. We see Citizen, like now, for example, on Thermite. We see Gunnar and Capitan Ying. It's not just Geo taking that upon his shoulders as an individual, it's Soniqs as a team taking that responsibility on the attacking side.
No, it was the flexibility that we mentioned in that second round as well, Nick. Soniqs like to change things up here. Whether they bring the right tools for the job, that is the question. A downstairs defense now for NIP, so Soniqs will be applying the Sledge, the Fauna, Thermite exothermic charges onto those garage walls. The wine wall's likely to go as well, as I assume Rexon's main position will be on the main floor. He's working his way there, droned in through library.
Attackers have located a bomb.
There's a Gemini that went in. There's drones that are going in too. Rexon will find that library is completely devoid of NIP players.
Yeah, I mean, NIP, they're playing kind of bunkered up playstyle. I mean, sure, they've had a little bit of soft throw and reinforcement walls up top, but they're playing for that verticality. We see a Prep C4 top right of your screen where if they get the sound cue, if they get the yellow ping, that information off the default camera, that could net them a kill. Then they got the rotate on the main staircase. C4 gets popped too, in fact, and they both miss. That means Soniqs, they get that 5v5.
A single point of damage had been done from those C4s. Citizen getting lit up now as the breach is open. Down goes Pino. Wizard swinging for one, gets it, cannot get away to safety as Geo punishes him for that. Psycho to defend against that yawning chasm opened up. There's a Goyo canister next to it. So if the execute from Soniqs comes in, they'll either have to soldier through that damage or wait out the 20 seconds. There's another position towards main stairs as well. So both entry points, the southern side of this bomb site, whether it be lobby or that snowmobile breach, be easily stopped. There's just about a minute left. 20 seconds will seem like an eternity if they get popped late in the round.
Yeah. Now the thing is, the Soniqs do have that 4 versus 5 man advantage, so they could send a player on the flank on trench door as well if they want to. For now, just buying that utility, but look at that smoke, exposes his shoulder. Khan's almost taking a bit of damage, but he gets away, has that shotgun close range. Soniqs, they know blue staircase is likely not going to be the approach for them because that's a difficult one to win as an attacker.
You do have a numbers advantage for Soniqs, so not all hope is lost. If you put one person to babysit Khans on these blue stairs, then you might be okay to pull off the execute, providing those Goyo canisters haven't been popped. One of them goes with 30 seconds left. That means the execute will be just 10 to go. Flash comes in as Soniqs still focusing on blue stairs. They see the smoke. Gunnar lining up. He's given one opportunity. He misses it. Geo doesn't, though. The follow-up good enough for Soniqs. Rexon waiting it out, but there's only a single player from NIP to find. It's Psycho inside of blue, heading through wine. Soniqs looking for the lead. They get it with Grixer's final shots. 2 in a row for the NA squad.
Great adaptation there from Soniqs. I mean, we said it, the blue staircase, you can't quite just walk it down and take it. And then the reinforcements came. Geo rotated with the Ibana, with the flashbangs, and that really made the difference in that round. One thing that's really catched me by surprise here from NIP is that in the very first round, they played it slow, they played a perfect style of siege for that bar defense. And it seemed like it was going to be a bomb site specific choice. But then they go dining, they play very passive, they don't really roam around the map, they don't contest Soniqs on the entry points. Then they play basement, and sure they had those double C4 prepped on the first floor, even to the top floor part of the map. But outside of that, NIP very much is kind of sitting on site, waiting for something to happen, and it's Chalet defense. This isn't a theme park, this isn't a clubhouse where you might have strategical elements to play around. This is Chalet, one of the most gun-oriented and like team 5v5 oriented execute style maps where when the battle occurs, You want to have as many people in that war as possible because otherwise you lose out that man advantage. If you have 3 members from Soniqs fighting 1 member of NIP, there is simply no way they lose out in that situation unless they make a massive mistake. And so far in this 2 rounds back-to-back that Soniqs have won, that's been the case. They get an early lead, they hold on to it, NIP they don't really try and fight back for it.
That's obviously good going right now for Soniqs to be up 2-1 on attack on Chalet against Ninjas in Pyjamas on their own map. You think this is a strong map pool for all these teams, though? You talked about it yourself.
It's great.
It should give us as even a contest as we can expect. For those of you that live in a time zone where it's already quite late, we apologize, but so far, it's been a thrilling day of Rainbow Six. Wow, hold on. There's a way to flush out Library. Gunner just vaults right in, gets the kill. Can he escape while the smoke lingers in front of him? Yes. He's retrievable as well. Exploits the fact that Nip wasn't looking in that direction. Vaults in, gets the kill, vaults out immediately.
That's exactly what they need. I mean, surprise factor, right? Now they've been in a slow game so far, first couple of rounds, and then all of a sudden, the gunner effect comes into action. Give this guy some freedom. I mean, he's on this more loose roam. Now Rexton as well, looking to strike with the Nick, with that passive gadget. He can't be seen by cameras.
Rexton's in the bomb site. Alert! Rexton is in the bomb site. Another member of NIP down for the count. Rexton wants another inside a back bar. Unsheathing the nade, out it goes. Looking for them to move out. Khan's down, dropped. Musi, the only one on the board so far. He tries to retake, reduced to a single point of HP, playing behind the bar, now into stock. Looking to rope around towards that games portion. He's all that's left. No, he's not. So long, farewell, 3 in a row for NIP.
Things have just shifted entirely.
Against
Adaptations so
against
important.
NIP.
Against NIP. Yeah, against NIP.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
It's shifted. Like, NIP had a great start. Things, they fall apart. Soniqs, they have done a great job at changing up their playstyle, right? Going for the passive, going for the slow, and also, of course, playing together. We saw it when one member, like Rexton, walks into the bar bomb side, you have the other members kind of rotate around it. Library double window, bar double window, and they make it play together as a team. So if things they go wrong, there's a backup plan in effect. We see it right here. The second Rexton gets this kill, we see everyone else rotating, and they actually trade 2 for 1, and they almost kill Musi with the wall bang for that soft wall that's supposed to follow up. Then Gio's in there, not planting, not playing passive, he's pushing forward on the bomb side. Happy smiles from Soniqs, they're feeling good right now. This is NIP's map choice. So they gotta figure things out here, change it around, adaptation again, stop playing on a different side of the map, right? Stop playing aggressive, start looking for those openings. So right now, Gunner and Soniqs, they're just finding gaps which shouldn't be there.
Disappointing performance from some of the superstars of NIP, if you want to call them that. Wizard, not exactly having the birthday game that he wants so far, 1 and 4, but more damning to me is Pino and Musi combining for a single kill and 6 deaths. Just simply being outgunned right now by what appears to be a superior team in Soniqs. Coming into this matchup, Chalet, the 3rd most played map in the major so far at 11 plays. It is attacker favored, to be fair.
Yeah.
45 to 55 in terms of rounds won. The only defender-sided bomb site is Bar Gaming.
Oh.
Which was won by NIP all the way back in round number 1, but was just most recently won by the Soniqs.
True and real. Bomb set rotation,
I think that was needed to say true and real. I think it was necessary.
It was absolutely necessary. Bomb set rotation Chalets, you have a lot of flexibility here. All 4 bomb sets very viable, and NIP as well as Soniqs can just kind of figure out what works best for their opponent right now. I think it's smart for NIP to kind of go through those motions and try out all 4, see what's going to work in the long run, try and play for that 3-3 side or 4-2 worst case scenario. Gunner.
Server has not crashed.
No.
He is just exhibiting zen-like patience.
Waiting for, okay, I guess Xcaros. I think they want to make a play with the Casa barricade, but Gerxer with the grenades couldn't get there.
He's got the lineup, he's got the lineup.
No.
And he misses it. Someone needs to go back to aim lab. Tossing in the flashes, and now Gio will go off of that position. Gio, no deaths so far. Even though Soniqs did not win round number 1, Geo stayed alive by refusing to jump into the middle of the site. Why would you willingly feed yourself to piranhas while you watch the rest of your team jump into the same river? That's the question
Exactly.
I would ask.
Save the KD, save the stats. Again, a mini execute here. That's beautiful.
Oh, read well by Nip. Shutting down Rexon on that vault in. The first blow coming for Nip.
I mean, there was only one thing missing there. There was no follow-up from Rexon jumping in. It was a beautiful ash charge from below to open up the barricade and, of course, mask the sound, but where's the rest of Soniqs? NIP playing that tight-knit formation, even if somebody were to follow up. They got members everywhere inside the swamp side area. Master bedroom closet, inside the solarium staircase, inside that bathroom area as well. They got this on a lock and key.
Well, Nip right now on the road to a very easy round victory with 1 minute left. The superstar for Soniqs has been Citizen, so consistent. Very quickly moving towards Library Stairs, and oh my, Pino could have picked up kill number 1 if he was maybe a little bit faster. Citizen, no, 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 no! Looking the wrong way. Cons has not given up control whatsoever of Solarium and Trophy Stairs. It's to the undoing of Soniqs. Relatively easy pick for Gunner, but it might end up being impactless. It's the very first kill for Soniqs with 30 seconds left in the round. These two players work together, both Gunner and Geo, to make some noise. Geo the vault in, that's his first death, slaughtered by Pino. Gunner out on balcony. Now 1v4, take your time, it might not matter at all. Clock will likely give the round to Nip, unless they can find Gunner first. They know he's out there. You want to give him a freebie?
Hey.
Pino did. Pino breaking that streak, getting on the board along with Musi, but Nip will win the round just based simply off, I don't know, attrition, would you say? Closing the gap. Nip's second round comes, a time where first half is still winnable by Soniqs. They'll have to go big in the 6th and final round of their attack.
Bit of a lack of information there from Soniqs. I mean, they had 5 drones alive when the round ended, all on the ground somewhere on the map, but then we see Citizen quite literally sprinting through the map, thinking or assuming that it's completely clear for his taking. But guess what? There is, in fact, a member of NIP hiding in a corner, Cons downstairs. Again, this mini execute that we just saw in the replay, the ash charge below, Rexon jump in, looks beautiful on paper, but in reality, it ends up just being Soniqs selling one of their members, you know, sending them to the grave, essentially, and playing that round from that 4 versus 5 standpoint. NIP looking more alive in that round, and again, it all comes down to what bomb site works in your favor. You can look at numbers, you can look at preferences, etc. But ultimately, as a team, as individual players, where you feel the most comfortable is going to get you the furthest in these rounds. NIP, they could choose anything but Master Bedroom, and they opt to give that basement hold one more attempt here on the final round in the first half. They play a similar lineup. They play that bomb site deny, the smokes, the 5, and they play a ton of C4s. 4, in fact. That means there's going to be no barbed wires, no what's it called, the beat boops, the motion detectors, etc. There's not a whole lot to stop Soniqs from simply walking into sight, besides the smokes and the fire. We did see NIP on the back side of the map on trench side. They are playing with an extension and a rotation into pipes and a shield, reinforcing that dining hatch to extend around the map here. So Soniqs, if they go for that same similar attack, which so far is started the same way, at least the back end of the bomb site, that north side, is quite well covered by NIP.
We don't track every single operator played in every single round, at least you and I don't. I know that there are websites that do that. I know that there are internal stats as well that track it.
Jesse.
Jesse does, yes, because he's a giant nerd.
Yes, exactly.
But for Soniqs, correct me if I'm wrong, but they have not ran this exact lineup yet. So, and as far as I can recall, Soniqs have actually tinkered with their lineup every attacking round.
They have.
Something different at least once or twice.
They have done a great job at picking different operators, whether it's the Brava, the Nook, etc., double, single hard breach, Capital, Twitch, Sledge. Like, they really are changing things around. Not even when they do a different bomb site attack, but when it's the same bomb site twice in the entirety of these 6 attacking rounds, they want to keep NIP guessing as to what happens next. The only similarity from this round so far is that Soniqs, they start the same way, but NIP this time, they don't go for that early C4 aggression. Instead, it's Pino on the blue stairs with a teammate as well, maybe looking for a pick if they get the information.
Relatively slow round, if you go by the expectations, and I might have just spoken it into existence. Got her on trophy stairs or on those library stairs, taken out of action. No. There goes another. No, 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 no. That's not what you want to do. This prompts Rexon to get quite aggressive. Buy stock, and he loses it as well. This is peak Psycho.
What's going on? I mean, Soniqs do have drones, right? I mean, they got 6 alive, but they're not really being used. Make it 7. Twitch drones as well to boot. So much.
Make it 7. Did they just get a new drone?
Yeah, Twitch has more drones. You have more than 10, right? And Gunnar died with 1 Twitch drone, so I suppose.
Oh, Musi from all the way back in kitchen now engaging with Grixer, but Soniqs are bogged down in these altercations. Down goes Citizen to Psycho, and now it's just Grixer, who we mentioned earlier, on a collision course with Musi on Mozzie. Taking a lot of damage as he just walks his way through kitchen, watching the wall explode. The Nitro cell and the Tracer's going over his head. Fishing for kills. Oh my goodness.
Flawless.
Musi gets it done, and as you said, flawless. Is that Milos?
Yeah, it's Milos in the crowd.
Is that Milos? God, you're so hot.
They said we can't have him back. What's up with that? He's our host.
I'm sure he'd be okay being shared with the audience and with us in terms of hosting duties. Now, your disappointment in round number 1. I imagine it returned in round number 6.
It's resurfaced. Things kind of ended the same way they started, where Soniqs look lost. I mean, there's a plan in motion, there's a concept, an idea, a theory, if you will, but nothing really happens. I mean, they get open that primary breach downstairs, they go in library, they drone, they destroy the floor to bar, and then they go, oh, it's clear, it's fine, let's continue. But it's like, it's not clear. You remember hiding inside a bar stock, you remember hiding blue stairs, and they sprint into those gunfights with zero clue to the fact that NIP was playing there the entire time. So I have to question the supporter staff here of Soniqs in-game, who's droning these areas, or who should be droning those areas, because that cannot be the case at all. Now, that's the first half of the book, so we'll swap the sides around. Soniqs now on the defensive side, NIP are going to be attacking and showing us what they have in mind for this starting point that is the dining kitchen bomb site.
Every single bomb site's been played so far as well. It happened earlier on in that first half. In terms of opening duels, Soniqs good on 2, Nip good on 3. They traded in that 6th engagement. Not the 6th round, no, the trade came in round number 3. No timeouts burned, so both teams still could slow this game down if things start to go awry. Oh, Khan's shooting a drone, that's not great, but I mean, it's a small thing. I think it was probably Psycho's as he immediately has to go back onto that drone.
It happens sometimes. I mean, would you rather hit the shots or miss the shots, right? Because imagine that he gets a gunfight later on, it's going to be an enemy's head. He's ready for it, right? Locked in, loaded. NIP making quick pace so far, clearing the library, fireplace, breaching the wall, getting all the people coming around the perimeter. And Soniqs now playing the utility game, right? The Maestro Evil cameras, the cancel barricades, the smoke toxic babes from Grixer. They're looking to stop the plan and slow things down from the side of NIP. So it will likely come down to one of those executes in the way of 4 versus 4, 5 versus 5, because right now Soniqs not active on the map, not looking for flanks, and even if they were looking for something, Wizards on the nomad to lock down those areas.
Yep, accomplishing all of this. Tie in the 3-3 first half while being on the quote-unquote less favorable side. But again, a 45-55 is not a huge deal. Losing that engagement for Rexon might have been. As he squares his body away to not get shot at from the bathroom window, just narrowly missing an opening kill. Mozzie Pest got it.
Yes, he did.
Shot it anyway. Citizen in trouble. There goes Grixer. Musi hasn't even entered the building just yet, but he's still making his presence known. Psycho next one in on the affairs as Musi wants another. All this damage being done to Soniqs, and they have no reciprocation at the moment. You've lost Gunnar. Geo taking half of his HP in terms of damage. Rexon, who was the first one to fire a bullet at a player on Nip, still hasn't taken any, but they are doubling up on him right now inside of the bedroom.
Nice shot.
Good enough onto the washroom wall. Looking for more, can't get it done. Just too many targets, and it's now Geo looking the wrong way. Khans cleans up. Nip at the lead back in round number 1, but then Soniqs took it away from them. Well, guess what? Nip's got it back. First round of the second half.
Great attack there from NP as well, working both the horizontal and the vertical angles at the same time. That's what happens when you find yourself in that 4 versus 2. You can just do maximum efficiency because you have such a big lead. Flanks locked down, but the Nomad as well, so no fear from any flanks from the members of Soniqs. And it sucks when you see Gio and Maestro on the bomb side kind of sitting around waiting for something to happen, and it comes down to that 4 versus 1 where you can't do a whole lot. We actually did see Gunnar go for a flank, but the Nomad didn't punish it, but there was a drone, I believe, giving that information because NIP, they knew exactly what was happening, at what time, at what location of the map. And it's a great start for NIP, building that momentum, that confidence to go through the map. Soniqs ideally has to make it difficult for NIP to do what they want to achieve. That means likely getting actively out there on the map, roaming around. Currently, Soniqs, they're showing us more utility. Ruining, Mira, Bandit. I mean, they also got the Solus, but this mostly looks to be a basement hold, so to speak. They got that dining hatch opened up. Maybe we'll see Grixer put a Mira there, if anything, later in the round. We see NIP giving us the fuse. And it has a very specific purpose on Chalet. You want to, use it to break the floor inside a fireplace and get all that vertical destruction near the bomb site. At least later in the round you do, because first, why not open up some of that destruction near the bomb site as well? You get bandits, maybe you'll get... I think that's really it, actually. Let's just get the bandits.
And anything else that might have been in that particular spot? Nothing got taken out that I saw outside of just those bandit batteries.
Banderies?
That's how I feel about that word.
But, I mean, that's the early stage of fuse. You still got the smoke grenades for here. You got 3 more of those cluster charges for later use in the round. NIP, they get that early step done so that now they can activate more members. For example, Thatcher now gets opened up for Wizard. He can move around and do more as well. Garner is on Solus to capture any drones, find them, shoot them. But so far, Soniqs haven't found a single one. Sorry, look at the wrong side. They found 2 drones. We're doing reinforcements. They found 2 drones so far, which is a decent start, but ideally with Solus, you want to find more, especially in that prep phase if possible. Now, there are soft walls on the backside because of that roam game from Soniqs.
Just wasted a smoke on the laser gates. I don't know if you saw that.
I missed it.
You've got so many drones. Why don't you just use one of the drones for it? At least it gives you clear access to trench. These drones will be found out as long as the Solus is on the board. Gunnar will have advanced intel as to where you are clearing and where you're going to go. He's holding that top floor, gaining intel. Why are you peeking this? Grixer, what are you doing? Why are you peeking it? Grixer.
He's down low. I mean, you got no Amai, you got no Jaeger, so you can't really play that pillar position. He gets punished for it as well.
He knew exactly where he was. They droned you out, then you decided to push it. Pino doesn't really seem to be using his cluster charges the way that we would expect.
No.
He's just going for kills instead, and everybody from NIP getting in on this. Soniqs looking lifeless at the moment. In a 2v5 that becomes a 1v5. Can Citizen prevent another flawless round for NIP? He's looking in the wrong direction. Oh, hello. Bit of peekaboo from Cons. Looking at the newly ejected Black Mirror. Now it's Citizen playing off the same spot. Guess what NIP is doing? Not engaging. Far enough back. Citizen making his presence known as he shoots every single wall between himself and the rest of Wine. Inside of blue, testing his reflexes. There's a machine here that does that. He might want to check it afterwards. Psycho doesn't move an inch. NIP in full control. Soniqs calling their timeout after NIP has won 4 rounds in a row to increase their lead. They now sit 5-3.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like, why wouldn't you? You've lost momentum. Things are not working out or shaping up the way that you expected them to. And we gotta talk about bomb site prioritization, operator playstyle, whether you play more passive or more aggressive, who gets to play those specific operators. Soniqs, they can change things around quite quickly, as we saw when they're on the attacking side, but playing this very structured, slow, methodical style against NIP and Chalet, I don't think that's your answer. Just like NIP played that same style early on, didn't work for them either. Soniqs did have a roam game, they did have options, but ultimately, they actually all fall back towards the bomb site and fight it there instead. And sure, Pino was playing the fuse, didn't need to use it the way that we thought he was going to do, but you don't need to. If you get the primary breach open and the back walls are soft, you get 2 kills off it, you can just say, we got enough guns facing the same direction, just outright take the bomb site from the defending team. It's a chicken hat. A turkey? Turkey hat.
Is it a turkey or is it a chicken?
I think it's a chicken.
I cannot hear you. Chicken.
Chicken hat.
It's a cowboy hat.
That's a cow.
That's a Blastar 6 hat.
A lot of hats in the audience.
A lot of hats in the audience. We don't have any hats in the player benches anymore. Bibu, I think, was the only one that was wearing a hat. He wore that Wolves hat every single time.
Yeah.
You gotta show off your hair. It's bad for your scalp, always being covered by a hat. You end up bald like Pengu.
10 seconds left before.
I don't want to be mean to Bibu, but as a fellow person who's balding, him and I share that same bad trait genetically speaking. So if you're already down bad, you might as well hide it at some point, right?
Would you ever buy a wig?
Would I ever buy a wig? You know, I mean, no.
Would you ever wear a wig?
I mean,
if I bought you a wig,
you would buy me a silly wig. That's the issue.
That's not true.
If you bought me a nice-looking wig, I'd consider it.
That's not true.
What's not true? You wouldn't buy me a silly wig?
Buy you a nice wig.
You would never.
I don't care about you.
You would say, I'll buy a wig, you look nice, you look fabulous. I'll say, okay, Parker, do that. You show up the next day, it's like a clown hair wig or something like that, like crazy colors, like one hair going way up, one hair going way down, looking all chaotic.
How good does that stage look, by the way?
Amazing. Very grand as well.
Because I'm going to get called a shill for this, or sellout, or whatever.
Okay, tell me.
I don't care. The moment that we walked in yesterday for the rehearsal, and I saw that stage, I genuinely was like, holy smokes, this is a really nice stage.
No, it is. I mean, we all kind of subtweeted it because of course we saw the rehearsals, and then when they got revealed today, this morning, a lot of players who didn't qualify were like, yeah, I gotta make the next major. I need to play on that stage.
Now, I don't know how many of you are in the crowd right now, but energy's been a little low. Can we get a cheer for the stage? Yeah.
I like the stage too.
That's the stuff.
Nice.
That's the stuff. We get a cheer for Milos? Are you barking?
What was that?
What about Gio? Oh, get a cheer for Gio? Fluke? You can't cheer for yourself. The first person to cheer for Fluke was Fluke herself, which is very in character.
Oh my.
Are they barking?
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's kind of terrifyingly real sounding.
It's like all like small dogs bark.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like the big, meaty, bassy dogs that bark.
It's a chihuahua.
It's like when you move into a new house and your neighbor's got a dog that weighs 3 pounds or 1.1 kilograms. And all you hear through the wall is that little yipes. The game crashed, by the way. That's what we're waiting on.
Yeah, got a little rehost coming.
In case anybody's curious.
Just a player break, you know?
Apparently it was player audio issues. My mistake.
How dare the players have audio issues?
Are you singing Walking in a Winter Wonderland? It's May. Jesus Christ.
You all need help.
Join? No.
You will not succumb to
I know of this concept called shape. Yeah, energy! Woo! And now they bark.
Another bark again.
We are never coming back to Copenhagen.
First and last major ever.
The audience barked. We must never be here again. In front of us, casting, G2 is coming down the stairs.
Hello, G2.
Probably to their flight.
Oh.
Thank God. Holy shit.
You know, there is one positive thing if you're Benja. I mean, you can take the metro home and be back in like 30 minutes, so...
Hey! We're back in the game, yay! You can't see it yet, but trust us.
In before.
You think we're lying? Just you wait. That's right. Can you metro home?
I can metro home.
Do you metro home or do you take like the regional train?
No, I do both actually.
What is the exact stop that you get off at and your address?
You know what? I'm not gonna tell you that.
Just in case you get lost, we all want to know.
Oh, you want to make sure you're home? So yesterday, going back from rehearsals, I actually bumped into a Siege fan on the way home, and I was like,
they follow you home?
I was like, where are you gonna get off? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna get off here. I was like, okay, that's not where I'm getting off. That's perfect.
Awesome.
So still hidden for now.
Do you think you're like a high-profile target for like kidnapping/stalking? Is that what?
In Denmark, no. Elsewhere, maybe.
Come to Brazil.
As I said, elsewhere, maybe.
How come they always say come to Brazil and then they just bring Brazil to us and now there might be 4 Brazil teams in the finals?
We could very well go there. NIP, they're in the lead. They're that 4th and potentially final team from Brazil. But before we get there, we're gonna undergo another quick one. A quick rehost. Make sure that the play audio issue was in fact fixed. Oh, no. That's bad. I'm gonna share the news, or should I, Parker? I was told that the reason why we have to rehost is because a certain player chose the wrong operator after the rehost. Would you want to take a guess as to which player that is? From Soniqs? Who could be silly enough to do that? There he is.
Zoom in. You did it!
Oh, Connor, come on, man.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you better be sorry.
He's not taking a piss, man.
Unbelievable. Who'd do that?
Oh. Did he say, please don't take my prize money when the... It sounded like it.
How's everybody doing today? Are you having a good day today? Awesome.
It's always a good day when it's the first day of a major. All the fans getting together, meeting each other, seeing each other, etc. Spoke to a few fans this morning. A lot of first-timers actually at this event, just like at the previous majors. Like after COVID, a lot of people who, you know, they're like, what, 15 when it started. They're now 18, they can travel, they got money, they got jobs or whatever. Welcome everybody, new and old.
Hi, Ian. Nope, nobody cares about Ian. Okay.
When nobody hypes up the hype man.
I'm trying to hear the chants and I can't hear the chants.
It is the Wonderland chant, I'm pretty sure.
Again?
I think it's the same one.
No, that's
it's
not.
different. This is different.
It's 11 p.m. and we are 8 rounds into map 1.
We're basically...
Why are you cheering that?
Like, let's keep going. I mean...
Is the bar still open?
Hopefully. We could break new ground. Longest ever day of a siege event for a singular day. It's possible. Don't know what the record is, but we're up there. Surely.
Production's gonna pull the stats for us.
Yeah.
What is the single longest day of continuously broadcasted Rainbow Six from a live event? I don't count online broadcasts. I want What is the single longest day that a live event has ever gone, and are we approaching that number?
Yup, stay with me. Yup.
Yo.
All the players are getting in the lobby now, so should shortly be back in the server.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Gio scratching his belly, laying down. Probably tired and hungry. There we go, Fishup's going out, flying back into the server we go. It was, just to remind you, 5-3 in favor of NIP. Soniqs, they are defending, and they basically took the tactical timeout and then went to their short break. So they've discussed things, of course, before, and they're ready.
It would appear there was actually some confusion about the operators picked. Our apologies there.
Oh, okay.
Gunner was apparently not a victim. The wrong victim. He was not in the wrong.
Okay.
So there's just a small misunderstanding. Just a very small misunderstanding.
They happen sometimes.
We're in game.
Really get to decide what they want to do.
Yay! Woo! Yay!
Back downstairs, that kitchen bomb site where last time Soniqs, they tried to defend it. That first opening bombs that they chose, it did not go their way. Basically a flawless for NIP. Sure, one member died, but it really was a very one-sided outcome in that round. Gio last alive on the bomb site as Maestro died from above when it was Cons on Sophia that time.
5 seconds.
Things have shifted. NIP, they were playing a relatively front-heavy attack before, a lot of soft breach, grenades, etc. Now they're playing both the Brava, the Nomad again for that flank watch. So if Soniqs try and get active on the map, they can try and shut them down. Of course, Brava, the newest addition to the Rainbow Six Siege, phenomenal operator on maps like Chalet, where simply removing a default camera inside the map, like top blue stairs, fireplace, etc. They can't really get from outside the building. Just like Twitch, Brava can, well, not destroy the camera, but hack them so that the attacking team can now see what that camera sees, forcing the defenders to shoot out for you instead. And we see Psycho immediately. One drone goes in, bam, get that Cinder camera off blue. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes Fireplace next, because that's kind of where you want to go. Yeah, there it is. Goes to Fireplace. Boom. So now both the... You see, they know what's happening. They're like, ah, he's gonna hack. Oh, they find it, actually. Great comms there from side of Soniqs.
Very similar lineup on the defense to what we come to know and come to expect from Chalet, Nicholas.
Very true.
Plenty of tools at their disposal. Gio will again be on this same Maestro operator. He was playing in the previous round, and he just didn't have any real success on it, sadly.
No, he did have a great time, though, before the rehost. He was sitting on that 5-0 before the side swap occurred. I think it was 6-2 when things kind of changed around. So Gio has actually had quite a good game overall when you look back at the numbers previously. And NIP very slow to the punch in this round. I mean, they've hacked cameras, they've taken their first step of map control with library, top fireplace, etc. But there's been no contact as of yet. Musi, if he were to shoot the barricade at that very moment, would have gotten a kill through the barricade onto Rexen, but of course, we have the outlines on. The players in Suba do not, so they don't know these things. NIP looking for their first fight. Soniqs not really wanting to walk into it. They're just sitting back, burn down that clock, play down the top.
Oh! Rexen taking the heat to Musi from the window. Psycho has the follow-up, Wizard in on it as well. Soniqs might have gotten that first pick, but it is not for long that they have an advantage. In fact, Nip comes out looking better in that first set of duels.
Reloading, cover me!
Rexen has been very, very good so far throughout this entire matchup. Oh, they bait Citizen into it! But look who it is, it's old Richie! Giving him and Gio as the last two. Everybody except for Gio and Psycho remaining in the server, taking a fair bit of damage. Now it's Psycho getting lit up from the Alda. Away he goes. 20 seconds left. Khan's worried about the barbed wire. He's got the diffuser in hand. There goes the sounds. Gio found, isolated. Rexen will need to clutch out. He's got both kills for the Soniqs so far, but the walls, they close in on him. Timeout didn't matter, extended break didn't matter. 5 rounds in a row for NIP. They sit on match point.
Yeah, I mean, this is their map, so we can say they might be very prepared for this, but we know Soniqs can play a great Chalet map as well. And Jesse said that this before this game started that they can, like NIP, they can play that slow style of Siege when they have to, and that previous round that we just witnessed is definitely an example of that. They played incredibly slow, one could argue too slow in fact, but it pays off. Because once they get into that first fight, they get 2 kills for the cost of 1. And I mean, there are multiple deployable shields from Soniqs, but they still lose in those positions. To my surprise, Pino, great job there on blocking the verticality. And it's all down to Rexen, who had to make that very quick decision. There's 7 seconds left. Do you fight? Do you hide? Do you try and get to a different position? He chose wrong, got caught sprinting, and NIP, they're on match point now.
An excellent map control from NIP throughout that entire round.
Absolutely.
Especially at the end. You can isolate kitchen, you can isolate dining, you can isolate trophy stairs, you can isolate west main. Why? Because you have control over all those parts of the map. Rexen had 10 seconds left to hold off against the Horde. Or Hordes, I guess. Because it certainly feels like there was more than just one.
I mean,
he was like the last person in Helm's Deep, just kicking the ladders down.
Oh, a cheeky bumpy from Gunner, perhaps, huh? Well, okay, Pino gets shot down. It's worth noting that playing a slow style of Siege isn't inherently a bad thing to do, as long as you're doing something proactively in the round. I mean, oh God, Gunner. Okay, he took it upon himself to say, we want this round to go our way.
Yeah, he's imbued with a sense of confidence and determination. It fills him with a sense of determination. There's a long climb for Soniqs still. They need to double their round count in order to push it to overtime. Next map is theirs. See it in the top right-hand corner of your screen. It's Bank. Clubhouse being that potential fateful decider. A good map for both teams. Yeah. Soniqs stats as of late on Clubhouse have been quite impressive. Big difficulty for NIP in this round, moving past maps that come, looking at where we are, is getting in the building. That's been the big struggle for NIP.
Yeah, I mean, you lose 2 members early on like you do to Gunner, and it's like, oh well, what do we do now? They're scrambling it together, piecing down the puzzle or figuring it out, but they get the main breach open now at the halfway point in the round, and that's at least the first step done for them, but you lose Pino, you lose Psycho. That's a lot of your initial entry engagements where, you know, it goes front forward players. It leaves just Moosey on his lonesome upstairs. Sure, he's got drone support from Constant Wizard, but he's got to win a couple of gunfights for this to go in NIP's favor.
Very slow movement now from Muzi. Citizen still up on that top floor. He's not giving up his hold inside a piano one bit, not whatsoever. 1.5 on the MPX is deadly. Look at this time that's being quote-unquote wasted at the moment by NIP. Wizard will be joined by Muzi. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of information, despite the fact that it shows that there should still be plenty of drones on the board for NIP. They're not using this time to drone at all, Nick.
Too big a map. I mean, you gotta just kind of walk through it and take your guesses as to where Soniqs might be playing at. I mean, they can assume at least 3 or 4 members on the bomb side, but what they don't know is the flank is open for them as well.
This is gonna be a pinch. Geo on the stairs. He sees the barrel of the gun for a second, but he loses it. Gunner's there for his third. Cons it a 1v5, and he's down. A flawless round from Soniqs. They've got 2 more rounds to go. They've already won 3 rounds in a row. They did so midway through the first half, rounds 2, 3, and 4. They'll need to do it on 10, 11, 12 in order to send us to overtime.
Soniqs, they've played 6 maps before this one, and they've only lost a singular of those, that actually being to a team from Brazil. That was a W7M game in the late part of phase 2 of the major. It was a 7-8 loss, so max OT on border. Could have been anyone's game, but it could just be the way Soniqs they match against that LATAM playstyle. They struggle against it. This is just the first map in the best of 3 series, but so far Soniqs not looking as confident nor comfortable in this best of 3 as it did in those earlier games in the tournament. They still got active comms. We can kind of hear a little bit of what they're saying in between the rounds, and they got ideas flowing, an idea of where they want to go, what they want to do, what operators to bring in. We're finally seeing Gio kind of get off that Maestro, not finding any success with that operator whatsoever. But they will, surprisingly enough, go back downstairs, that dining bomb site. It just seems like Soniqs are outright refusing to go to bar. And this could be because they know how NIP attack it, they don't think they have an answer for it, or maybe NIP is just so good at attacking it. I don't know the exact reasoning for it. But it is a big surprise not seeing bar in the rotation whatsoever from Soniqs, given how good the bomb set tends to be for most teams. Citizen, Warden, Gunner on the Muzzy, very active members of this lineup. And Gio going from Maestro, as mentioned earlier, onto Mute. Get that C4 downstairs to play with. NIP, they got an answer of their own. Cons is on the Monty. First time for NIP. Let's see how they can use it.
First shield that we're seeing, first Monty that we're seeing. It's an AK in the hands of the Fuse, not a shield.
Yeah.
So we've seen some teams employ. Most notable, of course, was DZ.
Yeah.
Hey, they don't pay your checks anymore, right? You can say mean things about them.
I mean, they played.
You're not a biased caster anymore.
DC played Fuse Shield, and it did not work whatsoever. It looked terrible in the hands of Sorry.
Oh, so mean.
So mean.
Be real.
Be real with me here. No, I mean, it's a hard thing to do. I mean, Monty's a great shield operator because you can extend out that shield. Your toes are safe. Your shoulders are safe. When you play the Fuse Shield, you can't even run fast like Blitz, so you're just a walking, shooting target, essentially. And on LAN, when the registration is incredible, you take so much damage, you die incredibly quickly.
Good way of describing a Monty. You are a bullet magnet.
You are.
That's where the bullets will go. That's where their focus will be. This is a kitchen defense now. For Soniqs looking to stay alive in this map. If they lose it, the only way that we have a non-Brazilian Final Four is through overtime. Nice shot by Rexon as he goes for broke, right as the panel in front of him blows up. How can he test his mettle now against Psycho? Tries for the engagement, backs away.
It's a great kind of off-pace pick, to be honest with you.
He's been in a place to strike Rexon for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's not going for it. Second exothermic charge, but there's a Mute Jammer on the other side of it. Boom. And it should be taken care of.
Didn't pop it yet. There we go.
There we go.
Now, they got Cons on Monty, which opens up a possibility of a plan, but they still need that upstairs office control, so one member from MP has to hold above. That's step number one. Then, either Monty plans with shield turned around, or someone plants behind him because Psycho on the Thermite doesn't have flashbangs. So either Cons becomes the planter or the plant protector. You only got 30 seconds to make that choice. You see that yellow ping. They're worried about the upstairs hold from Soniqs as well.
As he should be, frankly, and now you've got them scrambling to get in a position to help. You see Musi in a position earlier. Nice shot as Citizen decapitates Wizard. Rexon is still up there too for added measure. Nip's inability to clear out the top floor will likely cost them the round as there goes Cons on site. Citizen and Rexon have played this entire round from above. They're credited with all the kills so far. It's just Psycho. Soniqs, 2 in a row. Nip slapped their time out as we go to the 12th round.
Beautiful. I mean, you can look at that round and go, okay, so many things could have happened differently, but Citizen with a disgusting flick, looking at top blue, flicking top mezzanine, quite literally makes that round so much easier for Soniqs, because if Citizen dies in that position, that means NIP, they get that partial top floor office control, they can stop planting downstairs. That's gonna make, force into the position of, do the defending team on the side actually hold it successfully, or is the Monty too big of a struggle? Rexon going with that off-pace play early on. It's a solo attempt, it's a high-risk, high-reward scenario, but if it pays off, it's massive. And this is exactly how you have to play Siege right now. You have to play to win, even when playing from behind.
No, Massive is our producer. That's his name. Literally, his in-game name is Massive.
His in-game name is Mass. His real-life name is Mass.
I don't think his real human legal name is Massive.
No, just Mass. Short for Massive.
It's true. Mads.
Mads in English, yeah.
Mads in English.
No, you don't have to go boarding. You can go like smoking.
I'd like to remind everybody in the audience to drink some water.
You see,
is he wearing two different esports?
I was gonna say, he was repping two teams to increase the odds of happiness today. One team went home earlier, so now he's got a second team to root for.
Look how sad you made him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Boo, Pengu, boo!
We're all still recovering from the G2 loss, okay?
No, I think it's great they lost.
Okay.
I don't care about G2. Fateful defense for Soniqs. We said they needed to win 3 in a row. They've accomplished 2 of those 3.
Almost there.
Almost there, but...
And they finally go bar.
Nip with the opportunity to break some hearts.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Big question mark was the bomb site rotation.
Only 2 bomb sites played prior to this.
Yeah.
By Soniqs.
Sorry, what was that?
Correct me.
Dining and basement, yes.
That's correct.
That's it. So just the 2.
Yes.
And they finally
That's
worked
what I
for Soniqs. Only 2 played before.
Only 2 sites were played. What do you think I meant there?
Well, I was worried.
It rotated the sites.
Overall for both teams, so I was making sure that I wasn't wrong there.
I'd like to remind you that 5 rounds ago, I said every single bomb site had been played. I was specifically talking about
Maybe you have
Soniqs.
suffered from old man dementia. I don't know.
As opposed to young man dementia.
Yeah, you can actually have it at a young age. It's very sad.
Enough.
I'm sorry.
I have very good memory.
No, you do.
Hey,
But you have selective memory. Because you know incredible things about really irrelevant things sometimes, and then there's this point where we ask you like, oh, what time's the shuttle this morning? You're like, I don't know, I don't remember. And it's like you need to know when to be at your job, but you don't remember when to go, you know? So you ask us for helping help you out.
It's true.
Yeah.
I say, Nick, what time's the shuttle? And
Yeah, you
very simple.
every morning.
It's very simple.
Yeah. Happy to be of service.
One of these teams will be requiring a shuttle to the airport. Just about 24 hours or so. Others they opt to stay. For those that are just tuning in or rewatching later on, I hate to give spoilers, but I'm going to give them anyway. All 3 of the Brazilian teams that have played so far today have been successful in their matches. It's entirely possible that NiP could join them. And all of the final 4 teams representing a single region. I've not seen so much dominance from Brazil unless you go all the way back to SI 2021, where they dominated the final 3. First kill, by the way, goes on to Cons. Soniqs starting things off well. 1 minute to go. And they force overtime. Can Soniqs do seemingly the impossible? Defeat a Brazilian team on their map.
Yeah. And if you know how things they go on when Soniqs gets that opening kill, they usually also get the round. And NIP struggling to find any way into the building right now because Soniqs, they're again playing that utility game, sitting, waiting, doing the right thing. One member jumps in, Pino finds him on the trade, immediately back and forth from both teams. It's a 2v3, but still favoring NIP so far. With 30 seconds left, Soniqs, they can sit around. They know that NIP don't have time to drone every single corner out, so they can try and play those blind side, those blind angles, and try and get it back to a 2v2.
Oh, Soniqs. You've come so far. I hate to be a Linkin Park song, but in the end, does it even matter?
10 seconds
Will it even matter? Oh! Their Citizen to go huge! Psycho in a 1v2 now with just a few seconds left. Overtime, baby! Soniqs win 3 in a row, tie game.
Buckle up. It's gonna be a long night, most likely. And it paid off for Soniqs. If they get that opening kill, if they just stick to it, and NIP, they get so slow. If they can't get those early opening picks, they seemingly fall apart. Unless it's that dining bomb side. That's when NIP, they were so formidable attacking early on, winning it 2 out of 3 attempts. Look at that C4 from downstairs. That's the difference in playing Maestro on the side, waiting on cameras, versus giving Geo an active secondary piece of utility like the C4.
Let's fucking go, boys!
Ben sounds so happy, oh boy. Still live from both teams, but of course now frustration has to be settling in from the side of NIP. They had it in the bag and all of a sudden someone stole it from their hands. Now it's overtime, basically a best of 3 in terms of rounds. Soniqs, they stay on the defensive side. NIP, of course, too, will stay on the attack. But looking at how the momentum is right now and who's been doing better in the last couple of rounds, this should actually be in favor of Soniqs. They've won 3 of the last 3 defensive rounds. So basement, dining, into bar. And they will go to that second choice in that rotation. Go all the way downstairs to that basement lock. And just see what happens next. With NIP, they gotta pick it apart. Last time it was Gunnar getting those 2 spawn peaks, basically. And that kind of sealed the deal for that one.
And the stats on these bomb sites looked quite grim, and I don't mean the operator. Though Grim's pick rate right now is quite grim, so I
yes, you're right.
Actually very fitting.
It's very fitting.
Oh! Sonic strike first, 30 seconds into the round. Goodbye, good night, Wizard. I'd like to reiterate, that's the birthday boy.
Yeah. Not the best start for him. I mean, that's 3 right off the board. If you're not go for a front take, I mean, that's going to limit your options now. Of course, they do have that secondary hard breacher in Psycho on the Hibana, but he's not near any hard destructible wall. He's going for the roam clear up above, so if he also falls in an engagement, they have no way to open the walls, and it seems like NP might have made that same call, but like, Psycho, you cannot be the primary entry. Moose, you take over instead. We need Hibana alive for later in the round. We got mirror windows to deal with, hard walls, the bandit. Without any hard breach, we just cannot attack the bomb set, really.
A lot of criticism has been thrust at Citizen for the way that he plays on this Soniqs team by not being in the immediate action. A baiter, as people have referred to him as before, but he is just drawing so much attention from Nip. Goodbye, Pino. Citizen continues to be as elusive as ever. It forces Nip right back onto drones halfway through the round.
And when Ben gets into this position, Citizen, when he gets in the minds of the opponent, he reads them and he gets very comfortable and confident. That's when he's at his strongest and his scariest, because he will play those mind games with the C4s, with the peaks, but also fall back when he has to. Gunner, try to get a bit cheeky there. He pays for his sins. He gets taken down. He was thrown out effectively by an IP earlier on, but he didn't know that himself. But there's still, again, not much time for Nip to work with. They don't have a sledge either. So that fireplace control we see right here, they can't destroy the soft floor really, so all they have to work with is going to be conscious Osa shields and a couple of flashbang to boot.
It's the first time we're seeing an Osa as well from this Nip squad. Again, hyped up SQs, diversity of their operators. Same thing can be said about Nip now. They get smoked out of blue, so where are they going to go? Over towards main stairs, open things up. There's a nitro cell from Grixer, let her rip, and down goes Cons. Nip in trouble. Soniqs looking for another round. Musi can't buy a kill to save his life. Psycho with one. Are they gonna feed themselves to this Brazilian machine? They do, but it's Citizen the hero. And suddenly and most strikingly, Soniqs now sit on match point.
Oh, how things have turned around. Now, both teams have taken the timeout, so no one can call for their coach for help on this one. It's all down to the players in the server. Now, of course, both sides, they have a lot of experienced players in the roster, so they should be able to figure this one out. But NIP really struggling in those early engagements. The first blood going to Soniqs, the last like 5 rounds in a row. Only one of them even being contested for a trade. Now we see it. Citizen, spawn peaks Wizard, C4 goes up, finds the sledge. That is quite literally the 2 highest value targets you could possibly kill in that round. Thermite the hard breacher, sledge the soft breacher, and your only set of grenades as well. Look at that, another happy round for Citizen, just like the last one, and he is now going to play those mental games all over from this map forward because he's feeling it and he's in it. What can he do in attack? How can things turn around? Soniqs, one thing I would expect from this is the nuke. There it is. It makes so much sense to play that kind of operator, especially for Citizen, as I said. If he gets to feel his opponents, don't change away from it now. Come on, go back to nuke, please. It makes so much sense to play it. Perhaps NIP don't have enough gaps to be exploited. Geo was on sense as well earlier on, so maybe they thought it was going to be a dining attack. Perhaps we see that sense operator being played much more commonly. Instead, Bravo Drone tossed directly from spawn into the fireplace area. We'll look with the first default camera, arguably the highest value one. Combined with that blue staircase as well, that center of the map areas. Gunner does so successfully to start things off. You see Citizen, that's gonna kill the basement default cam as well, so just shutting down all the intel that NIP might have.
By Jove, he got it. Through the...
Yeah, yeah.
Got it. All right. How many rounds in a row for Soniqs now? 5? 5 rounds? 4 rounds? 5 rounds would be enough to send them through.
Yeah.
As we talked about, Bank is the next map. Nip won 5 rounds in a row themselves. Be an interesting little stat about streaking here, if you think about it. If Nip wins this round, it'll be Soniqs winning 3 rounds in a row, then Nip winning 5, and Soniqs winning 4 of their own. No team going back and forth. Nade goes out to displace. Rexit needs some follow-up. There's a cross from Nip that could be there. Citizen sees the Jaeger of Pino descending those library stairs. He wants to be in quick pursuit. Pino worried. There's that little trickster on the rope. Rava with the clutch drone, putting Pino in a rough spot, losing intel for Nip. There's an E1D. Citizen will just walk right up here. Oh, and he misses! No, it's a rare opportunity for Citizen that goes through his hands. Both teams come to blows. 4 deaths, 1 down but not out. It's ultimately Soniqs who walk away from that engagement in better shape. Wizard and Cons are left. They combined for a single kill. This is awful for Nip with a minute to go.
No, you're right. I mean, sure, you lose Gunner and Citizen, but again, Geo have been so great in the series so far. Rex and Grocer, they always tend to be. There's still a minute to go. NIP, they lost their crucial shield position. They lost their utility. It's Cons and Wizard against the world.
Oh my. Geo will tussle now with that deployable shield. Choke against Cons. They spot him. He's playing by piano and now gets droned in as well. Plenty of time for Soniqs to get their ducks lined up. Get him in a row. Put additional pressure on him now as there goes the office wall. Diffuser in the hands of Geo. He's doing double duty, not just the hard destruction, but he has to get past Wizard, who misses his opportunity. E1D goes, final one burned. Cons taking damage, pushing up. He knows he's letting it slip through his fingers. There goes the Diffuser. Soniqs have pulled off the comeback of the century. It's only a couple points of HP from Cons, and Rexit seals the deal. They steal the Brazilians' map away from them as Soniqs go up 1-0.
Dude, Benjamin Master at the Major? Do you really think he's gonna play with this? You need something way more powerful, man. It's obvious when you see his moves. Do you want to see his moves again, or...?
Bro, I was watching the SI before you even knew about R6. Pengu can win with this setup.
Real legend, he wins with this.
Sorry guys. I know a thing or two about Rainbow Six, so follow me. Now this is the best gaming setup. It's the HDR 400 monitor, the XB 25.3 QGP 24.5 inches. EO Finals 2020. I'm doing a triple kill. The monitor had to be top-notch to keep up with my moves. Frostblade fans, they can cool the best graphics card, the best processor, and even the biggest hard drive with the most memory. They keep things cool and calm like my head was at SI 2018 to win the championship.
Pengu goes for one on the young. Can he go the second? Penta are world champions.
It takes the best to be the best. Are they gone?
Yep. But with 2 Orion towers fully upgraded and 2 screens. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Takes the best to be the best.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Why you be all on my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you $1 or something? Don't hang with it who line for nothing. I see that we different, you riding, I double. I don't do discussions on bragging about hundreds. Don't go to your places, I know that they sunken. Don't call me your brother, I barely could trust it. I talked to a shorty, she bagging the bucket. And I'ma need all of my dollars on corporate, so hand me the money, I divvy the pie. I'ma give all of my people a portion to build them a fortune on flipping the ride. I can't be mixy when iffy the vibe, and 40 on 50 is really the time. Why are you all on my phone like you want me, like you wasn't pushing the kid to the side? I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling.
Welcome back, everybody, to the desk. Soniqs have taken map number 1, 8-6, and NIP have butchered it. They were so close, and yet so far. And here we are through, back on it. I'm your host. With me are Jesse and Alfama. And we have to talk about this because it was, for all intents and purposes, right there for the catch.
It was a streaky game for sure. We started off with 1 round from NIP, then 3 in a row from Soniqs, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row from NIP, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back from Soniqs. Really, this was a momentum-based game, and it's odd because you don't get a lot of momentum-based games with a big tech pause in the middle, with such slow rounds going on throughout the game anyways.
Yeah, and really what was funny is that every single time the momentum was shifting, like 3 rounds in a row, 5 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row, 5 rounds in a row. And for both teams, what really happened is they started playing super passive, and then both figured, we need to stop playing passive. We need to be proactive in the round. We need to take control. For NIP, the takes were faster paced in entry. They had all the control they needed and could clear the setups, the utility setups of Soniqs really, really quickly. The difference in Soniqs is they finally gathered, okay, we need to play the opening pick in order to win the round. We need to be proactive. First it was Gunner, round 10. Then it was Rexen, round 11. Then it was Geo with the C4, round 12. Again and again and again to put them back in the game.
And I think Citizen as well, massive. Those last few rounds find so many kills, dominating through the top floor of Roam Clear, having a big impact in for the Soniqs. The last European in the European major for the year.
Plays for 918.
Details.
Fair enough. You know, Alfama, I'm sure you're very proud of your ex-teammates in here in Soniqs.
Yeah, the resilience. This is where experience pays off, I think, and this is also where team spirit comes into play. I think they've got the right minds in the team to just never give up. And really, when I was looking at them, I felt like that was an NIP's game to win, really. The problem solving was so much better. I remember this round in Garage where there is a full room setup on Soniq's side. They bring Solis in intel gathering. They try and get more aggressive. and then NIP just goes for the side straight. This was the perfect problem solving that Soniqs was missing. And finally, in order to win the round, they go in and they play way more aggressive and proactive. What a turn of events.
If anything, that's an extra bonus because our audience probably carried them through. We have some Soniqs fans here, even at 11:30 p.m. We've been live here for, almost 12 hours. We had people in what I am calling the degen corner of this space that is absolutely loving it. So there you go.
The barking corner.
Exactly. The barking corner. I think there's a couple poodles that are lost in there, but there's a highlight. Something you want to talk about, Jesse?
Yes, it was a very long time ago, but if you recall back to round number 1, I wanted to highlight 2 rounds from Gunnar, rounds 1 and 4, and I'm going to highlight the exact same timestamps, 2:26 to 2:01 on both these rounds. He's trying to clear Wizard out of Library Corner. The first time, he's doing it on the Capitao. He's setting up the firebolts. He's waiting for the EMPs to come out from Geo. Geo throws 1, he throws 2. This disables the magnets, and by the time the fire comes out, Wizard is long gone already. Takes 0 damage because he's leaving as soon as he hears the EMPs. We come back to round number 4. It's the same bomb site. Gunnar has the same objective, but at a slightly different way of going about it. He's outside the balcony. He's looking around. He's like, yeah, let's just do it the good old-fashioned way. Jumps on in, jumps back out, actually downed by the Surya Gate on his way out. Toxic Babe gets exploded in front, above him by Cons. He manages to slide on under it and eventually does get picked up here. So a great adaptation coming from Gunnar, showing that sometimes the simplest answer is the best one.
Which is?
Jumping in the window.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's why would be a great Ying player.
Oh yeah, definitely. Or just don't play Ying, just play good guns and just jump in and kill the guy and get down 2 times because you hit 2 times the surrogate.
Alfama, you always have the best solutions for everything. Thank you for educating everybody here on the show. I know it's something Leo really wants to point in, but we'll talk about our next map. And yes, we are in map 2 still of our series. We're nowhere near done, and it is Bank in this case. Soniqs versus NIP will go to it, and of course, Soniqs are starting off on the defense. This is something that could be exploited by NIP for an early map lead.
Certainly. I mean, it's attacker-favored map, right? We're starting on the defense for the Soniqs, not going to be advantageous. This map, however, it was once upon a time super not advantageous. It was previously a permaban. They rocked it for their final match to qualify for the Copenhagen finals, beating Wolves in a statement 7-3 game. They've just introduced it back into their map pool. Not a lot of VODs at all for Sonic coming into this map. So coming onto their own map pick, 1-0 up, we may not see all 12 today.
There is one thing that's interesting though, is that Chalet was also attacker favored, and then Soniqs won so many defense rounds in a row. They can keep the same energy, look for these opening engagements, and I think that Bank really offers more opportunities for Rumors to go and grab those opening engagements. Then I think they can really carry on that energy, that momentum, and win the second map and win 2-0.
There was a time where, this is way back, I'm talking like Flipside Tactics era. This is 2016-17.
I'm not even playing back then.
Yeah, I'm not even watching back then.
I was young back then. But at that time, the only 2 regions that played Bank especially, was NA, and specifically Flipside, and then Brazil. And they were feared on it because in the day, they realized that you can play vertical with a buck. And that really took a while to set through. But now, looking so far into, I guess, the present, do we see this going to map 3?
Well, Milos, we've already broken the record for most maps played in a major quarterfinal day because this will be map number 11. Previously, 10 was the most we'd ever seen from a full set of major quarterfinals. Yeah, maybe 12's a little out of reach.
Is that pre-Pro League?
Yes. No. That's not including Pro Leagues. We're only counting majors.
Okay. Alfama?
Well, actually, I believe there is not going to be a map 3. I believe that Soniqs is going to carry on that momentum from Chalet. I believe that they've learned their mistakes. They're going to be more proactive. They're going to find the right operators, I believe Intel operators, to enable Citizen, Rexon, and these guys to go aggressive, get those opening picks, and win this map.
Congrats, you yourself have now won your job on the NAL desk. There you go. Thank you very much for that, my friends. Jesse and Alfama, our casters are ready. Map number 2, it's Bank, and it's NA leading. We'll see if they can close it out 2-0. It'll be 4 from Brazil in there. We got our casters. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. I'll gladly trade Jesse for Alfama on NAL. Happily.
He's great.
Happily take Alfama. It's always a pleasure to have him here. And yes, Soniqs did the unthinkable in map number 1, which was defeat Nip on Nip's map. Now we go to SQ's map of Bank. Do you agree with the desk? Do you think it's going to be a 2-0?
I think if Citizen can keep that momentum of what he was doing on Chalet, yes. So not to, EU boy playing for an NA team in Europe could be the winning formula here.
Ooh. Do we want a long day? Do we want a short day? I don't know. I don't really care.
I think it's long either way, whether it's a 2-0 or 2-1. Because every game has gone distance, So I don't really think it makes a difference there, but let's see if we can go the maximum duration or not.
Well, we might need all 12 rounds for Bank. I'm not entirely certain. I cannot predict the future. All I can do is tell you that I am excited. And I'm just happy to be here. 58% of you saying that you think Soniqs will prevail over Ninjas in Pyjamas. I wonder if that's been updated at all since map number 1.
It was 52-48 on the first map. So a slight shift. And it was favoring, I believe, NIP last time.
Oh!
So yeah. One fun thing to note is that at this event, at this major, there's only been played one overtime map between both these two teams. And that was that 7-8 loss for Soniqs against W7M. Both Soniqs and NIP usually play relatively short games, 7-2s or 7-3s. Even when NIP lose, they would lose in pretty big fashion. And when they win, they always win in great fashion. So both of these two teams, not really familiar with OT at this event, but first map, I mean, it took us all the way there. I wouldn't be surprised if this one of Bank also did. Bans are coming out, and things will kind of take a turn because Soniqs, they banned the Ying this time around as they start on the defensive side. NIP, they will remove Thatcher from play. Boring.
Oh, Thatchy boy.
I mean, of course, Thatcher on Bank plays around the kite for those basement hatches. It's very hard to deal with that, even with the secondary piece in the game, due to the radius being a little bit shorter than that of a kite claw. You'd almost need to pair it with an IQ, and you just don't have space for all those operators in your lineup. So, the Thatcher ban is to prevent the kite enablement on basement. NIP will once again remove the Valkyrie from play, despite being such a phenomenal Valkyrie team themselves, respecting what Soniqs can do with that operator, and perhaps how much they might depend on it.
Oh, and Azami is gone. Kaid's still very much on the board. You have pocket EMPs, I suppose. You got what? Osa, Monty.
Yeah.
That's who we tend to see it on the most. Dokkaebi.
Yeah.
As well, from time to time. And right away, even though the operator repick is in here, there is a Monty that shows up and be picked off of. Far more interesting for the defense downstairs. Things don't look that strange. Want to put the Goyo canisters somewhere by that CCTV into the main bomb site doorway. There you go, there's two of them. One put on a soft wall. If they're not shot at the same time, that's a solid 30 to 40 seconds that we'll see teams have to wrestle with.
Look, and it's like, what do you think the attackers want to try and plant? And you look at all those Vulcan shoes and you go, it might be in that area of the map. 3 canisters to boot, a Sami, a Rooney barrier as well. Of course, that soft extended hole does have open area from Soniqs with those main walls reinforced with the library inside a lobby.
Attackers are moving out to locate
Attackers didn't really change much around. The Maverick, of course, being brought in case of a kite being hidden by the defending team. Psycho stuck the Muncie the entire way through. Buck bringing that secondary heart destruction as well to speed things up. And they also have a Thermite, so a lot of backup plans here for an IP. And this also allows both Pino, Wizard, and even Cons, if they need to get into a gunfight on Bank and be able to take this map control, because even if Wizard dies, other guys can breach. If Pino dies, then Cons and Wizard can breach, so they're going to be fine either way. It is Psycho on the Muncie doing the roam clear duty right now, just walking through the map, and this is why Muncie is such a phenomenal operator. It is beautiful, and it is easy to just do this. He's got those secondary EMPs in pocket as well, so when they reach the bomb site, he can then use them to help open up the walls if there were any deny, but in this case there's not. There's no Mute, Bandit, or Crate being played from Soniqs.
God, I love feeling so right when I mention the pocket EMPs on a Monty and it shows up right off the rip.
Maybe you can see the future.
Uh-oh. Get out of there, citizen.
He knows not to mess with the Monty. I mean, you're a Polish, you can't do much against him, to be fair. You got a C4, but you're not gonna kill a Monty with a C4 unless he makes a massive mistake on where he punches shield. That might prompt the fallback here.
Wait. Rexon is there with him. They heard the buck from above. Pino also has the DMR on the buck, by the way. Does not hold on to that C8, a favored weapon for most buck mains. Advantage do you think that DMR brings? I think it's just damage.
Yeah, on land build, I mean, you two-tap most defenders. It's easy kills, really. Of course, Bang has a lot of tight, long angles as well, so getting just one bullet off will do a ton of damage with the DMR, not so much with the C8. There goes one canister, but we know there are two more waiting just around the corner. We also know there are C4s in pocket of both Brixer and Citizen, and we got 3 Toxic Babes, 2 Yokais from the Echo. This is NIP fighting against the clock. They might have the Munty, they might have the setup, but they only have 50 seconds to work with so far. Now there's one Yokai inside the lobby from Geo, so they also have a little bit of presence on the main staircase if they want to go for a fight, but right now it's all about plant deny.
40 seconds and all the Goyo canisters are down. Psycho going for the plan. Obviously the fire not reaching that far. Big blunder. There it is. No. And it does enough at the last second. Obviously there was still one remaining. That is bad, and certainly not good for NIP at all. Now they'll need to scramble to not just retrieve the diffuser, but also get some picks in the process. Khan's taking damage, baited in. Citizen still giving calls now. Has the gun out as Wizard goes to draw. Oh, we're back. Soniqs in a 4v2. Pino taken down, and it's Musi. He loses it.
I mean,
brilliant round from Soniqs.
When you put all your eggs in one basket like that, it's a very big gamble for NIP. And I mean, it looked like they were about to steal around that 5v5 with Monty getting down the diffuser almost, but not quite. And I mean, it actually came down to the Goyo fire from that Vulcan canister that saved it, because the C4 didn't do enough damage to outright kill the Munty of Psycho. It was the fire afterwards, that slower, rather quick burn that finished the job. And it should never be that close when you got 3 Toxic Babes, 2 C4s, 2 Yokai drones, but it was. NIP after that could not recover, tried to pick up the diffuser, the fire was there, got swamped by Citizen. Great job from him. It's always very daunting to look at the defending team go for this 5-man plant deny, because it really comes down to, okay, if you do it successfully, you can win on just utility game. But if that C4 was a bit later, or it missed, or shot midair, whatever happened, they just lose the round if that bomb goes down and gets planted.
Now it appears that we're having a small technical issue getting into the game. We should be there in just a moment or two. Not sure what the culprit is here right now.
Are they?
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah.
I don't know who let the dogs out. Yeah, I feel that, Wrexham.
Dude, that was...
Might as well let you bathe in the crowd chants.
There we are.
Back in game. Cheer, please. At this point, I'll take it.
Open area where things will change around. You cannot play for a bomb site deny on this one in particular. So both teams with a different approach. Of course, NIP going through their attack repick phase right now, looking for what's next on their agenda. And there it is. We still got Mr. Cowboy Hat. We still got Mr. Blast Hat as well in the audience. Nice to see you. Bravo from Wizard being the locked-in target. Psycho and Khan sharing that heartbeat role this time around. Bog even as well. So again, triple heartbeat from NIP. Just in case things they don't work out as intended. And Soniqs, I mean, Alpha kind of spoke about this on the desk, saying he thinks that Soniqs, they have figured out, you know, how to play dynamically, front forward, and they figured out that they cannot just sit around and do nothing. And while it did work in the first round because the basement bomb site plays out that way, they are very much active on the map of open air, which is exactly what you have to do. And look at this, Brexton playing inside a stock room finds the kill onto one of the 3 heart breachers of Khans. And again, momentum is a big thing, and Sonic so far carried it beautifully from map number 1 into map number 2.
Brexton still holding on the spot, but Gunner. What? No. What an angle from Pino. Down goes Gunner, looking the wrong way. That is a damning loss. You've just lost your Echo on Soniqs. That is late round intel. That is mid round intel. That is late round denial.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much. I mean, you still have Solis on Grixer, who can provide similar information, but now Gunnar has his watch from the grave, expected his teammates, watch those cameras, and hopefully for his sake, those Yokais are in good positions. NIP have taken almost full top 4 control, and the Lion Charge will give out multiple players' location. It's gonna force Soniqs further back, and with 1:40 to go, I mean, Pino and Buck can do so much destruction up above, both with the soft destruction and hot destruction on any hatches that are reinforced.
Opening things up and then going back onto their scouting mission with drones, as Wizard's been on that Kludge for quite a while, but there's limited value from it. As it's shot over by elevators. Was going for that default cam by beepers, double doors leading into open area, so that if this was a fallback defense from Soniqs, they could catch somebody on the cam for the retake. Fox still upstairs, tearing through as much of the floor as is humanly possible. But Psycho taken out by Grixer. Caught and down for the count. Now it's Musi sustaining a lot of damage. Grixer, though, flies a bit too close to the sun.
I mean, he disrupts the attack, but now the things have to change. Pino, the only hard destruction on the side of Buck with that secondary can opener. Not great. Look at this. Citizen, he scapped the flank as well. We said how on Chalet, he was in the minds of NIP. He reads it, finds the flying drone, and he doesn't drop the ship because he knows NIP, they don't have information. He could have dropped, he could have stayed. They don't know. So it's a 50-50 gamble right now. Citizen waiting for a call, then to make the decision to go.
There's Geo to pop up. Down goes Musi. Geo found out. Wizard right now trying to hit the site from the side. Citizen flanks around on that lurk. He's got to go quickly. Rexon needs to find the kill as well. They've got spam pings in. Wizard has no intel, and there's Citizen to the rescue. Dating all the way back to the last map. 7 rounds in a row for Soniqs. It's been about 45 minutes since we saw NIP prevail in a round.
When you put it like that, that seems pretty damn grim. Then, honestly, just again, Citizen playing a phenomenal amount of Siege, playing that, okay, I'm in your face, actually, I kill you, don't I fall back, you don't know where I am anymore, and strikes once again. And Soniqs, they played well recovering from losing Gunnar early on the Echo, with this angle here from Pino. Actually, a wallbang injure. And then because it's that DMR, creates the line of sight as well. Grixer played it great here. Didn't go for the swing, got the impact grenade to confirm the kill, and played on that pillar position. Then Geo and Rex are just playing passively on the bumps, and of course, that Frost map, an absolute paid actor, helps out in the round as well. Momentum really is on the side of Soniqs, and Bank, typically very attacker-sided map. It's a great spot to be in terms of side start, and NIP, they chose to be on this attacking side because this is the map of Soniqs. And we are gonna see the, this is so cursed. The Teller's Archives bomb site is one of those bombs where you always go, this is not gonna end well for the defending team. It is so hard to hold it because it's kind of like playing CEO. You gotta hold top floor so heavily because the moment you lose it, you cannot play on this side any longer. So you gotta play like it's CEO, but it's not CEO, so you can't really die top floor either. It's really awkward. NIP, they have went through those attacker repick motions, being like, okay, what might be the solution for this? And it's again, they kind of default onto Munty when things don't go their way. But the thing is, to be honest, the Munty from Nib hasn't worked out either, so I'm not sure this should be their backup go-to strategy, because neither on Chalet or in Bank, it's really been the answer.
There's one of those Ash charges going out now, trying to push these defenders on the top floor away. So Rexon playing in this spot before, but now it's Citizen, and he doesn't know what's on the other side of that smoke. The Monty has used both of those smokes now.
Reloading.
One not hitting its mark, I'm sure, because of the magnet. Selmas will go in 2. It's a lot of utility to just open up a single wall. All the while, Rexon has been down by a nade. Is he retrievable? Will there be follow-up intel?
Oh, goodbye.
E1D is burned, and there goes a nade out. Down goes Rexon. Great entry so far by Nip.
Yeah, they didn't have the info, but they just confirmed it with that second grenade.
Down goes Citizen as well.
Oh, so now Soniqs, they have to aggress now. Gunnar or Grixer have to be the heroes. If you don't find any kills here, you lose top floor, then you lose the bomb site, then you lose the round. So playing for time, playing for utility is not going to be the answer this time around. A Gunnar, a lone man upstairs, looking for a fight but doesn't get it. Has to fall back now as well.
Oh
Tough position.
What a shot from Grixer. Goodness gracious. all the way up on that square skylight.
That's how things start. You get that kill now, you know there's no flank. Jones, you can advance again and again. The flanks are open. NIP, they were just looking at it for a second, but they don't have that many drones. They have one left alive on the table. Then they get 0. No drones for NIP. This could absolutely be a flank round for Soniqs. Cons is in Monty. That's the only info that they have.
Grixer's just teasing us with this flank over and over again.
Oh.
Soniqs are at a disadvantage, though.
They are.
Down in numbers. Grixer's been hurt quite a lot as Psycho now goes for the late rotate. This top floor is held by Nip. They're going to put a lot of pressure on these defenders by playing
wait.
No, Vito! That's your teammate, man! What are you doing?
No!
It was a nice shot, though. It was a really nice shot.
But I mean, that...
Can't take that away from him. Frustration undoubtedly setting in for a team that has not won anything in so long, but Pino's still frying from above.
What?
He's the only one left. Soniqs just sweep right through the site. Does Pino even bother? No, I mean...
Demoralizing.
You lost the plot mentally, and no surprise at all. Nip called their timeout so quickly.
You have to. If you don't call the timeout there, you are selling yourself short. I mean, you are making a huge mistake, multiple mistakes in that round. They get 2 opening picks, 5v3, so much time to work with. They somehow lose all 10 drones as well, only 1 minute and 30 seconds into the round. And then Pino will flick top of square, look at his teammate for a solid second before pulling the trigger. Like, how does that happen? I mean, sure, we saw Grixer threaten that flank for quite a while in the square area of the map, but his teammate, I mean, it was covered by NIP. There was never a gap really. They were fighting on the staircase. You have Cons and Monty. You can walk on in. You have so much intel. Pino is up above. Geo is running back and forth, left and right on the bomb site. Juking verticality, getting 2 kills, shutting down the Monty and staying alive. Mental has to be absolutely in the gutter if you're NIP right now, and that is not where you want to be because it's a best of 3 series. You got a really long one ahead of you if you want to try and bring it back all the way.
Well. I mean, if there's one thing that we know about this Nip team is they have that resiliency. They've got world champions on the roster. They've been through some of the worst circumstances as a team. If you remember, they almost got relegated at one point.
Yeah.
Their entire spot in the ecosystem of Rainbow Six at the time was completely threatened back when it was LATAM Pro League. Obviously, they've been achieving greater results since then. By themselves as one of the last 8 teams here in Copenhagen.
Yeah, but
in fact, technically one of the last 5 teams, just because
now, yeah.
a later match.
They have the last game today, but I mean, yeah.
There's one thing that's jumping out at me, though.
Oh my God.
Nip calls their timeout, and Soniqs are bringing a clash.
Oh my God.
This ever-revolving door of operators for Soniqs did not end on Chalet.
I mean, if the enemy takes a timeout and you are like, oh, they might be plotting something here, right? Let's throw them a real weird one you cannot mentally prepare for. It would be a clash on Basement Bank. It's like, you have not seen this before if you're NIP most likely. And if you have, the sample size is very, very small. Now, it's going to be Geo on that particular operator. Maybe a bit, you know, annoyed at the fact that Cons brought Monty twice and, you know, had to deal with that himself. Curious to see what NIP will do. They don't really have any great operators to deal with Clash. They brought that same kind of lineup, but there's going to be no secondary primary heartbeats this time. There's just the Maverick, the Buck, the Thermite, if you want to count Maverick that way at least. They bring the Twitch instead. Deny intel, gain some intel. But there's only one set of grenades in the pocket of Moosey to deal with Clash, and even then, I mean, unless you hit a phenomenal nade, it shouldn't do a whole lot of damage. Soniqs, besides the Clash pick, they are still playing for that bomb side. Downstairs, plant deny. Clash currently inside a server, just seeing if NIP will strike that area of the map. But so far, they're just going for the roam clear, open up the hatches, and pay their respects by droning out the entirety of the map.
The last time Nip decided to attack this bomb site, I don't think the struggle was over towards blue, which is where the Clash looks to be playing. The issue was pulling off an execute on the site, and the main point for Nip was that Monty that got stopped by the numerous Goyo canisters. Of burst at the final seconds, all while Citizen gave calls from inside a gold on the pulse.
Good value from Twitch. Gets the Goyo Fire cleaned up and ready for the bombs execute later. But a minute to go, I mean, that's gonna buy them possibly enough time. The only real problem now is going to be the clash. If Gio plays this perfectly, it could be the difference maker in this round. Gunnar, of course, with those toxic pips in pocket as well, is gonna play a huge role. Gio has to rotate back into side, but this nade might end him.
Oh, off a little bit early. What? Look at that, they baited them right in. Gio, though, taking damage. Not all the while before Psycho goes down
What
to
is
Grixer.
that? They just put Gio in dirt, server 1v3, and they somehow get a smoke wallbang into it, but like, was that really the plan? Gio to just die like that? I don't think so.
I mean, I think the idea was somebody in the site would get a kill as they pushed from server, which is what it looked like Grixer did.
Is it enough, though? He's still got 20, Cons finds a second.
I don't know. No pulse means no intel. They instead had Citizen playing the Aruni. Down he goes. Now it's Rexon to fall. Gunner peeking as well. Nip being perfect. Cons looking for every single kill. He might be able to get them, but no, it's Musi instead as Cons goes for the diffuser plant. What a magnificent round from Nip, and they are finally on the board.
Cons got bullied last time on Monty, and he said, I took that personally. I mean, he gets 4 kills in the round, does the entry job, the exit job, and tries to get down that diffuser case as well. That was, of course, off the tactical timeout from NIP. So great job from adapting and changing things around, but I do feel like Gio on the clash there could have gained so much more value. Grixer gets a lucky kill through the smoke, and that's it. If Gio plays further left of the server rack, he could maybe try and walk back, use the smoke that the NIP tossed out themselves to obscure the cover, to then make it back near the bomb side, or maybe just play inside of the A default position to make Grixer get more angles, to get more kills. Just, you know, try and stall for a bit longer, a bit more time. Soniqs, last time they had both the flank around with the pulse scan if they wanted to, the Yoga drones. Before that, on the open area hold, they played the Oryx flank from basement. So usually we see Soniqs have multiple ways of playing the round, but in that previous one, it was a clash on servers and no real follow-up. Fall a bit short.
5 seconds to insert.
Go to open area again, where they did find success into that 2v1 close round. NIP bringing very different operators every single round, despite winning or losing. Now the Bravo, the Dokkaebi, the Lion. Things are really shaping up here on Bank.
Wow. You can really feel the bass in the venue. The moment that that gun got fired from the Lion, I was a bit surprised. It caught me off guard with the rumble. One of the few things that a LAN event provides that you just don't simply get playing online.
Well, you can feel it in your chest.
Oh, Gunnar.
Oh, no.
Gunnar Gunnarsson hiding upstairs.
Tried that on Chalet as well as Bandit. He died, so he's learned his lesson. You don't want to take the risk there. Pop the scanner, run away. Of course, the call will also come out, so it's going to expose your position. So this is still staying above right now. It's an extended hold by Soniqs, and then people have to either choose to deal with it or simply walk around it. We see...
Oh!
Strikes!
A nasty shot from Gunnar on the Wizard. Gets baited into ATM. Soniqs opening things up yet again. For their 4th round in this first half on their map choice. Logic bombs ringing out. Psycho's used both of them. The remaining 1 minute and 40 seconds will have to be driven solely by the Lion, as there goes the first E1D on behalf of Musi. Second one, actually, it's gone. Oh, and Psycho just missing out on Citizen. Run, 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 down below. Run for your life.
Beautiful timing, favoring Citizen there.
Grixer loves this spot in Archives. Head over towards Square Stairs if he wants. The roof just being picked apart as Soniqs have completely forfeited the top floor, but they're gonna love a late flank. I suspect they'll go up main stairs in just a moment.
Yeah, I think they gotta get both Gunnar and Grixer, the Solus individuals, to get active on those staircases. Find the drones, see them, share that information, and then do something with that, because the side is not super playable any longer, and NIP could rather easily try and drop a corner hatch and get down a diffuser. Only real thing to stop them right now is 2 toxic babes in pocket of Gio, and that's it. There's got 40 seconds to go. Where are you going, Rexon?
Nip riding these DMRs as much as they can. Down goes Rexon. Those 3 bullets just too much. Now it's Pino's turn to do the same. Opening up some more of that printer wall to give him a better vantage point. More sight. Down goes Pino. Suddenly the guns from Soniqs, they're starting to wake up. They got that early pick. Gunner still in it. No, he misses out on Musi. But you know who doesn't? It's Citizen to the rescue. Good for one pick, now over towards the hatch. 10 seconds left, Psycho's gone. Geo just adding kills and kills and kills, and it's Cons to sprint in. Nice shot, only one remaining. He goes for the plant. Citizen needs to waste time, and he knows he's home free. 4-1 for Soniqs, racking him up in the first half.
I'm really impressed by Geo. Now 2 of these 5 rounds, he's just in the middle of bomb site, finding kill after kill, staying alive for so long, avoiding all the grenades and the flashbangs and the crossfires, and those DMRs doing so much damage onto players, but also that destruction on the soft walls. There was that kill from Geo with the swing. Citizen, great play with Gunner to trade it out after what looked like an easy kill for Vigil upstairs, but he lost it outright. Flanks always being a factor in bank here. So many staircases, it's a big map to work with. So many drones being denied early in the round due to the soft roam of Soniqs being proactive on the map, and it really is paying off in the late stage of it. Final round in the first half. A lot of options here for Soniqs. They go downstairs again, that basement, but they go back to kind of where things started. There's no pulse on the board, but it is again that heavy bomb deny. More C4s, the Yokais, the Toxic Babes, the Goyo Fire. And I was gonna say this, I would expect NFP to go into Twitch again to destroy those Vulcan canisters, and they do just that for now at least. They're gonna stick it as well. Of course, both the Banner and the Thermite get up, open all the hatches, the walls inside of server, etc., as you would expect. Good thing about playing Twitch, you also get those smoke grenades. It can be hard to find them on the attack and lineup if you don't. And it's of course you bring other operators. But for the most part, it's like Osa, Twitch bringing those these days.
Going live.
Final round now for NiP on attack, on bank. They've had some serious struggles. They took a timeout, and a bit of a head-scratching strategy from Soniqs, at least if you listen to Nick and what he thinks of it, when they left Geo to die in the corner.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot more that could have been done there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bank is one of the least played maps. In fact, it's tied for last with Theme Park and Skyscraper. It's 6 plays only. Overall, it's a very attacker-sided map, and that is bad for NiP.
Exactly, that's a lot where my concern comes in, because they chose this starting side of attack, and they're not really living up to what we would expect from them by choosing that side. They've done a great job in this round so far. They've gotten portion of top floor, and now Pino with disengagement. They see it, but he takes a lot of damage, so this person who falls first in this round.
Oh, 2 other players from Soniqs now lit up. Gunner and Geo in trouble.
That's awkward. The hatch didn't open up.
Oh, Citizen, no! Great coordination by NiP, side of that office, take him out, but Gunner specifically hating Musi on that one.
That was tough. I mean, Citizen was upstairs, the hatch inside of A. You see it, it's soft, but it's not opened up. And Gunner, he was playing on the server staircase, so he couldn't open it from downstairs, as you would maybe expect. Citizen knew he was doomed that round. They lose 1 C4, still got 1 pocket of Grixer, but both Gunner and Geo are so low on health that if a single bullet comes their way, especially with 2 DMRs on the board, they'll be done or they'll be out.
Yeah, there's been a lot of DMR play from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
So much.
Reminds me a lot of, actually, when they made it to the SI Finals against Space Station. They were using the TCSG a ton more than anybody else.
Oh, that was a good time.
They were having a lot of success with it. Now they seem to be running more of these DMRs than just about everybody else that we've witnessed so far today. Could be a stylistic choice. Could just be simply based on damage. Final 40 seconds now. There goes the wall. Geo's far enough back. Oh, Wizard's on the hatch above. Geo knows his mission. He's got to stare in that one direction and catch them off guard, but NiP has so many drones still remaining. They'll flash Geo out of his spot. Grixer, a kill on his own, can't get the Nitro cell out in time. Actually, he does! Geo gets baited by the down, and instead it's on the hatch that he's punished from. Wizard not moved from that position. NiP managed to take 2 rounds in that first half, but again, if the stats are anything to go by, NiP should have won the first half. The fact that they came up short on the more favored side It's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring as we now transition to Soniqs going on to attack.
Oh, you're correct. I mean, one thing that really has been deciding the lead in these rounds as well has been the opening kills. Pretty much whenever Soniqs, they get that opening kill to NIP, they slow things down, they struggle to find a way back into the rounds. And in a similar way, when NIP, they find that early success, it's Soniqs kind of going a little bit more aggressive than they should. They lose that network, they can't trade out accordingly. We saw both members in the roam being isolated near open area, falling one by one instead of being able to play together. I love this from Soniqs. The second they see its top floor, Gunnar says, give me Amaru. Get someone on Dokkaebi. Let's do something crazy this round. Gio actually not done just yet because he might have shows a Muncie here as well. Things are really interesting here in Bang. Of course, the map pick off Soniqs, so they're probably well prepared with those individual pocket strats for those rounds. And starting off in a fashion like this, doing something quick, something unexpected, something off pace, can kind of set the tone for your attack inside. If it works out as well, it's going to make the defending team kind of question what's about to come next.
Well, Gunnar's going to repel instead of just going for...
Hey, he doesn't want to fly all the way, okay? Come on now.
You think this will be a late round where he possibly goes up a hatch?
It could be a lot of things. I mean, the thing is when you pair the Amaru, which says really, really fast, with the Muncie that says really, really slow, it's always a bit puzzling to try and figure out what exactly is the plan here, because you're gonna see Muncie and Amaru be on different sides of the map most likely, because Muncie's not gonna repel in the window. Let's be honest, it's not... Okay, hopefully it's not gonna repel in the window at least. Dio is not that crazy. But for now, it's gonna be intel game. Deny some, gain some, figure out what the landscape of the bomb site looks like. And I mean, look at this.
Oh, huge value.
You can stun the defenders now. Would you look at that? Yep, it's mine now. Yoink. Now,
doesn't cloak any longer though, so of course,
yeah,
Nip can look for it, find it with their own eyes, take care of it.
They can.
Has the shimmer too, right, from Brava, so it'll be easier for them to
it'll
see.
be easier actually. You're right about that.
I know.
It is gonna be Gio on the lobby side of things to start off this attack. That 90 wall EP goes out, so must follow as well. The Yokai drone here could be the counter to Gio on the Muncie. If he extends too far forward and up here ready to strike with that Yokai stun, that's gonna remove his shield from him and he'll be exposed.
Oh, from intel from the Yokai that's been stolen by Soniqs. There he goes. Gunnar is in and he's out of here. Pino shutting him down. Not exactly the play that Soniqs had hoped for in that engagement. Gio taking some damage as well. At least they scare the Warden off of the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a perfect world, I think Gio should be in first, apply some pressure with that Muncie presence, and then Armor follows. Instead, it's a bit too telegraphed, and AP, they read into it beautifully, and now they got the crossfire upstairs. Muncie can get past this line, but no one else necessarily can.
So Kaid now playing so low against Grixer, but Wizard's not looking in that direction. Grixer wants the angle, but he doesn't have it just yet. Is there any intel in the main lobby that might alert Wizard to the spot? If there was, it doesn't work! Grixer, a phenomenal two-piece back-to-back. And now with the shield down, Gio decides to go for it. It gives the advantage to Nip, which will only grow. A bit of puzzling decisions here from Soniqs. Citizen can pull off a 2v1, but he's running out of time, and that's the bigger issue.
10 seconds to go.
Pino spotting him, and there it goes. 2 rounds in a row for Nip. They've closed the gap to a single round against Soniqs.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you see a Muncie ADS like that, it calls for a desperate time. Something didn't really quite go their way, but I feel like Soniqs had more to work with. Citizen on the skylight, backside of the bomb side, could have definitely come up with a flank a lot quicker in the round and do some disruption of his own. Instead, it's Dio on the front lines, ADSing at Muncie, going for that big gamble play, and it doesn't pay off. It was a nice attempt with the Amaru, but again, Pino wasn't blinded. It was very telegraphed, and Muncie wasn't in a position yet to really make a play with it. And this is the thing. When Muncie is the one bringing those secondary MPs for the wall in 90 or Kanto spot, whatever you're gonna call it, that they breached on open, you don't have smokes. Imagine Muncie had the smokes to smoke off elevator so that his teammates could walk up with him and get some gun presence up there as well. It's a great attempt of a clutch by Grixer and Rexen finding a couple of kills in the round, but outside of them hitting some heads that didn't really have much impact in the grand scheme of things, they didn't really find much else in the round. Maybe we'll just see a defender side of bank. I mean, anything is possible here. NIP to go downstairs to the basement, where Soniqs, they had mixed results, but mostly successful.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
That was the first time we went to CEO as well, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct.
So all bomb sites have now been played.
Soniqs played Archives Tellers before they played CEO.
A bit surprising, as that's not usually the bomb site you want to go to. It only had a 20% win rate for the defenders. That's a terrible stat for anybody who doesn't know numbers.
Yes. And it's not even played very often either, so it's not like you're forced to go there. You just simply, the few teams that do, they don't succeed.
Very quickly, the gunner's in above. He sees that reinforced hatch next to him. First Jackal of the series coming out.
I won't let this one slip
No
away.
other new operator debuts. And Citizen on this now, Rome, coming down the stairs. He's got some more footprints in front of him. That's Wizard inside of elevator, now drops. This information will be followed up on, and Citizen does not get baited into the engagement.
Of course, Jackal kind of simplifies the roam clear. Just wait for the scan, see where they are. Second scan goes through, that's gonna be Jaeger. But they know he's also downstairs, so now Soniqs can comfortably say, unless there's a Kivera on the board, which there isn't in this one, that there are in fact no roamers now because there are no footprints to be had or scanned. Heartbreach goes out. The pace from Soniqs a bit slower than that of NIP when the sides were different. They gotta still deal with server stairs, server itself, and then all the way down to the bomb site itself. And we can see from the silhouettes, NIP, they're holding server, 2 members, Pino and Psycho, I believe, in the silhouette outlines. It's Pino first here, 2 ADS in pocket, 2 tucked debates as well, 1 tossed out as well, prepped and ready to go.
We got 1 left. Pino, a swing and a miss. And there's more gas to go to conceal his retreat down blue stairs. Nade tossed in by Rexon, hits the magnet. No way to dislodge the smoke from that position. Soniqs having a bit of problems with this server hold, a stumbling block for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard. You can't go third tunnel, there's a shield. You can't clear Pino because he's playing smoke there. And now you can kind of see Soniqs, they gotta change their approach. They gotta go for maybe a hatch drop into a quick aggressive play with 35 seconds left. They gotta be decisive, they gotta be quick. But also, they need to literally win their gunfights. And look at this, while that happens in a P, they gave up servers mostly.
The Gunners just going for it. Citizens found cons. Soniqs on the board first. That's big for them this round. They need to regain the momentum that they had in that first half. They look for follow-ups. They catch Pino as he emerges from his spot. Have they droned out Wizard behind server? I don't know, but everybody from NIP is falling by the wayside. A beautiful play from Wizard has suddenly made this imminently more winnable. They need to find Musi as the last player. Spotted out, and it's a huge round from Citizen to give Soniqs their 5th.
Oh my god, I mean, Soniqs had to pivot in the middle of that round and change things around, but they did so successfully. But also, NIP didn't have the information. We saw them sprint into servers, down to the Balkan server stairs. Again, they dropped the hatch. They went for that aggressive play. Citizen opened things up, but everyone followed through with the plan, believing in each other and the goal at hand. Get down there, win your gunfights, and try and get that diffuser presence later on. Usually we...
What do you know what they're saying?
No, I can't tell.
I can't tell.
Oh, okay. Usually between these 2 teams, what we saw in Chalet, it's not back and forth. One team gets that round, and then we go back and forth and back and forth. No, it's something like 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 2 in a row. We don't really see that much. Once in a row.
Once in a row.
Once in a row?
No.
It's been a long
It's not a thing. It has been a very long day.
It sounded
Midnight
so
is actually now 2 days.
Midnight is 2 days?
I can't remember. I don't think in the entire history of me casting, I cannot remember myself casting over the span of 2 days, other than, of course, when we casted like at night.
Oh, okay.
Like at an event.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, okay. I certainly haven't.
That's understandable.
What are you calling me?
You haven't casted that much.
No.
Yeah, you are an experienced bozo. You said I was old and had dementia earlier.
I did say that.
Yeah.
And then you have to brag about your memories.
Yeah, I also called you bald.
You did.
It's a very mean cast.
It has been.
It's a very mean broadcast so far.
I mean, Brazil, Latam, they've been very mean today, period. I mean, 3 out of 4 teams so far qualified for, tomorrow, the semifinals. NIP, if they lose here, would be the only team from Brazil not making it. And the Soniqs, of course, the only team not from Brazil to fight it out going forward.
Soniqs could unite the crowd, which...
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Soniqs has ever been in that position before as a team. Can they get everybody behind them? That's the question. Give the people here something to cheer for. Uzi reads the rush from Citizen. Goodbye to the Dokkaebi. I believe that was only a single logic bomb that had been used, so some utility will die with the first death on behalf of Soniqs. Down goes Rexon, but Geo's found his way in the middle of the bomb site. Goodbye, Cons. Gunner watching from the play above as Grixer is outside of it. Geo could go for a defuse plant here. He might have the attention of one of the defenders as they need to get in a position to deal with him. Allows Gunner time to get over towards that printer window as well. Give Geo some cover.
It's a hard one. If Geo can't get the right angle, this could actually work for them. Post plant is great halfway through. I mean, this might actually work out.
Just needs to be done in the post plant. Gunner winning his fight against Psycho. Grixer almost winning his as well. Down goes Grixer though, the remainder. Done and dusted. Pino, no more. Wizard softening up the Monty of Geo, who manages to escape. Gunner's nade securing Pino, and now the last 2 remaining members of NIP in the site. They need to close in on that diffuser as quickly as they can. The diffuser hitting the halfway mark. Gunner has intel. Goodbye, Wizard. Musi will need to clutch against a Monty and an active gun, and he runs right past Geo. Time all the while is just bleeding on down. Gunner's been phenomenal so far, but Musi about to run out of time. Geo only needs to waste 1 second. That's the round for Soniqs, irrespective of what happens. Musi will get the kill for posterity, but Soniqs moved to series point.
Phenomenal round by Soniqs. 3v4, they cover the cross. You know what they did? They took the time they needed. Gunner said, guys, I am not ready. Let me rotate to the copy window instead, cut the cross together, and while the XQ went down, they had red ping information with the drones too, and then Gunner plays it again perfectly. He realizes he has to rotate for a better post-plant position when that diffuser goes down. So he goes up there on the rappel into top square, and then we see Geo in the meantime just buying so much time. And to think that that round starts off with Geo go for an ADS pistol kill in the middle of the bomb site with 4 people staring at him and getting away with it. Gunner has come so far as a player, growing so incredibly fast in the NAL and now here on international ground as well. He had a rough start, inconsistent path and whatnot. He's been criticized quite a bit by social media, but he has really found himself in the last couple of months, playing a flexible role, playing smart siege, not just being a good aimer and a bad brainer. He's been playing really smart and really well so far.
Do or die for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Good news for them. Soniqs were in this exact same predicament on Chalet. NIP going up 6-3, and Soniqs ran it back, winning 5 rounds in a row to put it into their column. Soniqs streaked for 3 rounds to start off with. NIP going back and forth, but it's now Soniqs sitting on series point, but on their own map, just as NIP was before. Big pressure on the shoulders of the only non-Brazilian team that has yet to qualify, frankly.
Yeah, it would be a shame. I like the Wizard here. The kite contact elevator is gonna not get EMP'd most likely in this round. If they even win EMPs from Soniqs, they don't have it this time, they did previously. Twitch drone tech from Geo gets punished immediately as they read into it and shut it down. So again, the issue comes now, this 90 wall to elevator, they just can't quite get the utility off. This is it, the final Twitch drone, it's gone. They have to rotate Rexon over now with grenades or just change their approach now for Soniqs. NRP playing a nice strategic side to this round, and it pays off so far.
Opening up one of those castle barricades, giving them a bigger window into the bomb sites. Still on rappel. Psycho doesn't see it, wrong way. Losing a lot of HP in the process.
They breached the wall below, but the issue is they want the wall above.
Still might have that electric claw they need to take off. As you pointed out, no Twitch drones to accomplish that.
No, and they all spent Rexon's grenades, so I think they just gotta change the mission now, and Grixer is indeed rotating as well, signifying just that, and we see the members of the silhouettes there from Soniqs all going towards top square skylight. They are indeed changing their approach in the last minute of the round. No smokes and pocket of Geo on the Twitch, so they can stun, maybe rappel in, go for a big play here, but no matter what they do, they gotta do it together. There are too many members alive from IP, too many guns to deal with. You cannot be playing individually in this round for Soniqs.
Yeah, that's the rub, isn't it? Cons gets droned down, a very familiar spot, and he's gone now. Citizen with the first pick, and hold on a second. Rexon is really just making it his own, but Nip wipes the floor with Soniqs in the next 3 seconds. They're down to just a single player in Grixer who will need to win a 1v2, or else it's Nip staying alive. Only 30 seconds remain in the round, and Grixer's in a nice spot. But does he have information? He's got 1 Selma left to make his job a bit easier. But good patience right now from Nip being shown. Grixer could be on cam. He's looking the wrong way. Lights out as Wizard gives Nip yet another round. The Brazilians stay in it.
Great hold. And the crossfires being established from NIP, and they punish Soniqs. I mean, they got in, but they didn't have enough info to work with, so 2 members went unnoticed by Soniqs, and they got punished for it. They couldn't get out of the diffuser, couldn't get a comfortable spot on the side to get anything really done. No smoke grenades in pocket either, no Munty. They just had their guns. NIP so good in these engagements. Again, Valkyrie being banned just means that there's not a whole lot of intel to be had, and we did see both teams play Echo for about 3 rounds combined, but it's usually used for that, you know, bomb site deny, the plant deny, more than anything else. And see, look at the cover from IP. 1 member prone on the floor, 1 guy covering the door. Psycho breakdancing inside of Jenner's closet, finds 3 kills in the round, like total. Very nicely done. Basement bomb set is up next on the menu for NIP, and things of course will change up because remember Soniqs last time, they wanted to go for server, couldn't do it, no time. They went for that backside hatch drop instead, and it worked out, but just barely. This time, another operator will join us now with the flexibility of these 2 squads. Osa being brought out on bank, Nuke being shown by Gunner as well. Soniqs, they have so many different ways to play Siege. It is worth noting, I suppose, that Gunner is playing secondary Heartbreach on Nuke instead of frag grenades. Because you can't just run with an ace, you cannot get the hatches, you don't get the walls. So to get max value in this, Gunner will play the unsexy role of a Heartbreach, and it can make things difficult if you're Nuke, because now you don't have the freedom to walk around the map as much as you want, because you have to get off that Heartbreach first before risking dying in the round.
As Gunner found an opening, Psycho might actually be able to read into this one. Soulless and the Nook. In many ways, 2 sides of the same coin. Oh, Muzi! An easy pick for Gunner to start off this round. Sonic still sitting on match point. They're 4 kills away from making it happen in the previous round. They fell short. Same position now. Soulless. Psycho still roaming on the main floor. Has not been spotted out, but now he does. Gets punished for it as well, and Gunner wants to follow up, but he's looking in the wrong direction.
I mean, Psycho spotted out the Nuke gadget earlier on, and still Musi was walking around blind, did not really know what was happening, so a bit of miscommunication, but Citizen, he walked into his side while
No! That's not what you want to do!
What?
Cons reads right into this. They find 2 picks. Sloppiness again from Soniqs. This is what tripped them up in the previous round.
I mean, they must have thought there were more roamers from NIP than what they really had in reality, because they didn't really have any actual intel on the side. Gunner can also salvage this because he knows where smoke is, and he wins out the gunfight as well.
Gunner is single-handedly winning this round for Soniqs. Nick, as he does more damage to Cons now too, and he just wants to run right in. Look at the brazenness, and he gets away with his life intact. What the hell is that?
Patience, young Padawan. You don't have to run through the side to confirm that kill. You've done so much damage already, but look at this. Does he read the flank? The hatch gets opened up. Psycho does not know where Gunner is.
Psycho might have heard this, and he gets the pick and the down. A lot of experience in the hands of Psycho, and he knows that blue is not up. It's not theirs. Soniqs have it. You gotta clear it out.
I mean,
Gunnar could have waited, didn't have to swing the door there because teammates are coming for backup, but look at Geo. Pickings.
Psycho just waiting to die in that instance.
Wait, they could plant the wall, it's open for them. You walk in with the Osa shield, Geo
Hold on,
covers.
Look at Khan's spot.
They need Geo to come over and help.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
It's there. They
Osa
got it.
shield will go in. Khans could swing. Is Geo ready for this?
Oh,
he's looking
not.
the wrong way. No, Geo, look to the left. There's the push-up from Khans. Rexon has to clutch out. Can't do it. Khans a huge 4K. One more round for Nip to send this to overtime.
Could this be a reverse sweep from both teams on the opponent's map? That is the question. NIP was in a great spot pre-season Chalet, then Soniqs, they stole the show. Now things are happening exactly the same way again. Soniqs, they have called their tactical timeout. They need to settle things right here, right now, or risk going into overtime and play that best of 3 in terms of rounds. The players and guidance, their coach, while to talk things through what defense they expect to come out, they can counter. Such a great start from Gunnar, such a great start from Soniqs, and then right here it all falls apart. The smoke grenade just, don't know if it missed or just poorly tossed, but doesn't like deny the line of sight from the A bomb side, and Citizen didn't even check it because he thought it did. And then Gunnar swings on server stage while Geo arrives, and this Khans just put himself in a surprising position and gets rewarded with a clutch. Before this series, as mentioned earlier, only a single overtime map for both these two teams combined. There was that 7-8 loss to W7M for Soniqs on Border. The first map we saw OT, and now we are one round away from seeing OT in the second map as well.
Open. That's where they're gonna go. Open area.
That's how pro players stay calm. They go open.
I believe it's called they're called the Xbox comms. It's where you say the same thing 3 times in a row with greater urgency.
No, and the best kinds of comms is when everything seems urgent, so nothing seems urgent. Screaming every call out.
10 seconds to insertion.
No attack Rubik's going out. Soniqs, they prepared well for this with their tactical timeout. Nothing really worth noting. I mean, Citizen's getting more freedom on Dokkaebi and getting Geo on floors instead, which previously was Citizen's role. So that's gonna bode well for him. Citizen had a perfect average game, 8 and 7, nothing spectacular. Quiet kills for him, but does find opening kills here and there.
Drone activated. Brazil's 4th team hanging by a thread now, Nick. Not a surety that all 4 of the teams will make it from the region into the semifinals. It would be quite the statement, wouldn't it, that no matter what, we know Brazil would win another major. They've won a couple. Liquid win their first major ever. The W7M finally seemingly beat that curse, get it done. Would FaZe win yet another? Came so close in Berlin. They prevailed in Yavla.
Yeah. Storylines from all teams, of course. Soniqs representing North America, 1 round away, and Gunnar again finding himself in a great position. C4 got ripped, so he runs away, but nothing really gets tossed out just yet. Gunnar and Bach plays a crucial role as well with that verticality. And the C4, he runs back into it!
No, Gunnar, you're supposed to run the other way, man! Nice toss from Muzi, though.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Poised, looking ready. That first pick. They carry on now through the mid-round. 4 more kills and you go to overtime. Doing the exact same thing to your opponents as they did to you just on the previous map. Revenge. A dish best served in Copenhagen, I suppose.
Yeah. Geo doing what has to be done. It's not a fun thing to do, but spending 30 seconds on drone, sometimes you must. The Citizen on the Dokkaebi freed up more, looking for an engagement. Last minute of the round, we can kind of see the pressure, the intensity building for Soniqs. No one's taking any risks. Gunnar dying early was a mistake. It wasn't supposed to happen, and now they pay the price for it.
It's a lot of destruction being done by those Rotero drones. Geo is all out, so now it just comes down to the gunplay. Try to tackle this open area bomb site as it lays in front of you and do so without a buck. Good thing you got the breaches, good thing you got the Rotero drones. But you're far more vulnerable. Down goes Psycho. Soniqs find a big first pick, looking for yet another on the Musi. They do a bit of damage, but nowhere near enough. No logic bombs remaining. There's Geo to take down the remainder of Musi. Now Cons is gone. Hey, Soniqs might be able to pull this one off. Pino sees the drop. Grixer slaughters him. The birthday boy in a 1v4, and he's crying on his own birthday. Soniqs, the only non-Brazilian team to make the semis. They get it done in the 12th and final round. Brazil still got a great shot at taking this entire event. And one Brazilian team will make it to the finals, Nick. Yeah. But Soniqs has an outside shot of winning it all too, and denying the 3 teams from the same region a chance at lifting that trophy.
Soniqs gotta fight all the way through, time and time again, beating all Latin teams to go there. You have to wonder, will they unite against them and try and take them down first? We'll have to find out, but Soniqs with a great showcasing here today, looking better and better as the tournament goes on. Seemingly can't be stopped just yet, but there were definitely some gaps shown today, especially map number 1, a slow start for them, but a great finish on Bank.
Obviously some shakiness from both of these teams. It's Nip who ultimately could not get it done. The first and only 2-0 of the quarters, and the first and only team outside of Brazil to make it into tomorrow's semis. Soniqs will really have to run the gauntlet if they want to host that trophy.
No, they do. But I mean, they gotta go home as fast as possible, rest up, and prep for the next game because they're playing just tomorrow morning again.
Well, let's facilitate the process then and toss it on down to the stage so everybody can get home as quickly as humanly possible.
Thank you very much, Pengu and Terra. I am joined by Gunnar. Commiserations to Nip. Soniqs are our final semi-finalists to make it through to Saturday. Gunnar, we touched base before coming into this one. I do want to talk about how you have just dramatically improved, and you are this incredible player right now. Not saying that you weren't already, but you're proving a lot of people wrong. You were the only team to take down a Brazilian roster here, and you did it with a really gritty performance.
I mean, I don't even know. At one point we just said, let's just play ranked and have fun and just swing these guys, because I feel like we were giving them too much respect at the beginning, and kind of playing passive and scared. Once we just started fighting them, it was over. We just showed we were the better team.
Was that a conversation that you all had together? Look, we're giving them too much respect, too much credit here. We need to change something.
Yeah, once we were down 3-6, we threw all of our strats out the window and said, all right, just do the ranked setups and fight them and see how that goes. And it just started rallying up. It was pretty crazy.
I feel like this EU crowd maybe got a little bit fed up of seeing all of the Brazilian teams win, that they actually started backing you as an NA team. Has it been interesting having an EU support like this cheering you on?
Yeah, no, the last major I was at in Jönköping, they were only screaming for Shaiko, so this is a new thing.
You personally, you know, everybody's saying that you're an incredibly flexible player. You're a really smart player. What would you say is your biggest strength at the moment?
Not being smart.
Is that it? Yeah. You're going in not thinking too much.
You just fly at people, man, and you get kills.
Hey, you're going to keep flying at people. You will be going up against W7M next. What do you think of them?
I mean, I think they're a great team. It'll be a good game.
Gunnar, you're a great man. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing more of you in the coming weekend. Thank you so much. I just want to say a quick thank you to this amazing crowd that stuck it out for this. I don't even know how long it's been, 11, 12-hour broadcast, I'm not quite sure. I've loved every second of it. To pick apart our last quarterfinal, it is now time to cross over back to our analyst desk. Milos, are you still awake?
Ian, you can call us at 4 in the morning. We'll be awake for some more Siege. Don't you worry about it. I've been up to 6 a.m. and I'm loving every part of it. Who needs sleep anyways? It's for the weak, as I'm told. And you know what? The weaker team in this matchup proved to be NIP. However, if you ask me, you toss a coin, maybe had this been game 3 rather than game 4, we'd see an NIP victory.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty, but Soniqs get it done. They come through for this game. They 2-0 NIP. They get to survive till tomorrow. I mean, this was a game with a lot of mistakes, a lot of scrappy. You could tell Soniqs were playing, you know, their ranked games there. I 100% believe Gunnar. But hey, the better team won. They managed to come out on top. win their gunfights, and put on a good show.
Yeah, I think in general, like, except for the basement where they were really playing into the late round, counter executes, they went with what I was hoping for, which is being more proactive and playing off intel, off Solis, off Echo, aggressively in defense on bank. And in attack, they were way more creative than at IP, but also more scrappy, like so many mistakes happening. I think there is nerves, I think there is fatigue. I'm hoping they are well and rested tomorrow and they don't do as many mistakes.